do it.
Face came from 𝗤𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘀𝘀𝗶cie where the still don't sleep. Raised by his mom, pops ghost in the street. Concrete cradled him, lullabies and sirens. Pain made him sharper than a shank in rockers. Crip rags in his closet, but his heart beat wise. New loss at 10, saw a soul leave eyes. Mama drove buses, hands cracked and bruised. Told him be more than the block you choose. We met on Spruce, locked in, no flinch. Blood couldn't make us closer by an inch. Face was a warrior, cold but kind. He ain't just survived, he redesigned.
Congratulations, gladiators, they graduated. I'm glad you made it through all the hatred. I hated it. Couldn't be the fate debated, but it's more me than now.
We about to go live in a minute, y'all. Give me a second. I'm sending out the invites real quick. And we're gonna get started.
Some burn bridges, some burn the set. Some earn stripes, some place they bet.
Trip came from LA, raised by his queen. No pops, just hunger and gangster dreams. Slim, tall, and dark pain behind a smile. Dodge fate daily, ran with wolves wild. His mom called my pops when he didn't make it home after dark. And mine answered like, that's my son from the start. I gave Trip structure, he gave me fire. Two halves of war, faith. And mine answered like, that's my son from the start. I gave Trip structure, he gave me fire. Two halves of war, faith and desire. We chased skirts, fought ops, baptized in sin. Banged out pride with bloodstained grin. Loyal to the soul, not just the turf. We ain't find heaven, we dug it.
Congratulations, gladiators, they graduated. I'm glad you made it through all the hatred. I hated it. Couldn't be the fate debated, but it's more me there now, never faded. See that look close, so the hatred. I hated it. Couldn't be the fate debated, but it's more me there now, never faded. See that look close, so the tight, put the fake to rest. Some burn bridges, some burn the set. Some earn stripes, some place they bet.
I'm too much, raised in the 𝗖cie flame.
What's going on, brothers? We about to get started here.
He taught me to move with a soldier's poise. But my brothers taught me how to hear the noise. My dad gave face, me and Trip that God. Their moms hugged me like I never left their side. We ain't shared blood, but we shared that pain. Shared the same block, same hood, made change. From chasing women to ducking raids. From stick-up missions to street parades. We stood 10 toes, built from the mud. Now gladiators crowned in brotherhood love.
Congratulations, gladiators, they graduate. I'm glad you made it through all the hatred. I hated it.
Couldn't be the fate debated, but it's more me there now, never faded. See that look close, so low.
Y'all let me know if I should release that. Y'all let me know if I should release this song, man. I'm working on an album. It's about to drop probably about a month and a half or so, maybe 2 months. Just got some more cuts I want to put on the album before I release it. Some more, some more research and just finding out what I want actually on it. But I got 2 songs already. The single's already out, Too Much. But y'all let me know if I should release this right here.
He taught me to move with
a soldier's voice, but my brothers taught me how to hear the noise. We about to get started, y'all.
Me and Trip that guy, that moms hugged me like I never left their side. We ain't share blood, but we share that pain. Share the same block, same hood, made change. Chasing women that duck and race. Stick up missions, street parades.
We stood 10 toes, built from the mud. Now gladiators crowned in brotherhood.
Congratulations,
Gladiators, they graduate. I'm glad you made it through all the hatred. I hate it. We about to get started here. Y'all coming up in here, man. Nobody hit the like button. Y'all gotta hit the like button. Y'all want me to get started? Y'all gotta hit that like button, man. I'm about to, high level game over here.
In the lion's den, standing on truth. I don't follow, I
inspire, man. Loyal to the code.
Got the wisdom of 1,000.
Every move I make
for the fam, that's the fountain. Built from the struggle,
integrity in my spine.
Character solid,
you can read between the lines.
Talk what I live, they respect me
when I speak. Name hold weight in the west and the east.
Lessons from the block got me sharp like a
blade.
Made it out the fire, but the flame never
fade.
Soul made of steel, I don't shake.
I don't front. I'm too much. I'm the moon and the sun. Everybody know me. When you see me on the street, I be on TikTok. Always standing on business. Everybody know me.
Too much. When you see me on the street,
Too much, too much.
I'll be on TikTok. Too much.
Always standing on business.
Too much.
All right, let's get started, man. Hey, check this out, man. Y'all got to hit that like button, y'all. For real. We got 8 people up in here. Y'all got to show some love, man. Y'all got to show some love. If y'all want the best out of me, just show love. All I ask is y'all apply pressure to that screen, get the likes up. Let's get the likes rolling in, and then I'll get started. It's not a problem. But we about to talk about it today, man. I kept telling y'all need to go watch a movie. It's on Netflix. I kept telling y'all, those who've been in my lives in the past, and I've been on a few panels, and I've mentioned this. There's a movie called The Nigerian Prince on Netflix. Now, if you are a Nigerian, you definitely need to watch that movie. But if you are FBA, you also need to watch the movie because it helps you to get in the mind of these tethers, the mindset of the tether. You want to understand how these tethers think? This is like probably the most true to life movie of what's it like to be a Nigerian or an African in America, and an African who goes back to their homeland. It shows the dichotomy of both things, and I want to break it down, and I want to get into it, and then I got some questions I want to ask. Okay, I want to ask some real serious questions for my people, man. I want to ask some questions. So give me 1 second here, but nothing's gonna happen. Listen, I'm be honest with you, man. I got a wife. I'll go hang out with the wife, but y'all got to get them likes up, man. I'm not budging. I'm gonna be real about it. I'll just play the music, and nobody come in the room, and then I'll just end the live. But if y'all don't come in showing love, I spent way too much game at a high level to be treated like this.
Every line is a leak, got the aura of a king. Calm, never loud, but when I step in the room, I
still move the crowd.
Stick it to the code, I don't break, I create. Everything I built from the ground, now it's great. Said I couldn't do it, now I'm living what I said.
I'm too much,
lead with heart,
not just bread.
Too much.
When you see me on the street, too much, I'll be on TikTok. Business. Everybody know me. See me on the street. Me on TikTok. Always standing on business.
Mirror never lie, I reflect what's divine. Discipline the few, got my purpose
in line.
They imitate the stance, but the soul
ain't matching. Do it for the bloodline, never for the caption. Too much, realer than the lives they be living.
I'm the echo of the struggle, still risen. Woke in my thoughts, still humble in my deeds. Planting righteous seeds while the world just feeds. Eyes on the prize, but my mind in the stars. Blueprint in my palms, no facade, no fraud. Speak truth in the world full of
fiction and fronts. I'm too much.
I'm the future they want.
Everybody know me. When you see me on the street, I be on TikTok. Always standing on business. Everybody know me. Think all for the lineage. Nothing less, always more. Come on. All right, let's get to it, man. Let's get to it, man. Y'all don't want to show no love? That's cool. Y'all be stingy, man. Y'all be stingy with black content creators. Everywhere I go, I show love, but y'all don't want to show love. That's cool. I'm not even gonna force it. I'm just gonna come up here and do what I do. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But we about to get into it, man. It might just be a monologue. I might not bring nobody up because nobody's showing love. I might not bring nobody up today. But yeah, I want to talk about this movie, man. The Nigerian Prince. If you haven't seen it, I'm about to spoil some of it for you, not all of it. But it's a good movie. It's actually a real good movie. Probably a real good Nigerian-made movie that really makes a lot of sense. The Nigerian Prince tells the story of a guy named 𝗥𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘁. Now, 𝗥𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘁 is a stubborn Nigerian American teenager who is sent to Nigeria by his mother to learn discipline. So that means he's in the United States acting like a kid, acting like a typical youth in America, right? Getting in trouble, getting in fights, all the above, just acting like he can do whatever the hell he wants to do. Because that's what America teaches kids, right? America, if you ever sent your kids to school, I don't know why you would do that. I don't know why more people are not homeschooling their kids. But this is pretty much what it is. If you send your kids to school, you're sending your child to an indoctrination camp. And inside this, especially when the Democrats were running when the Democrats were running the yard, okay? When the Democrats was running the yard, let me tell you something. You send your child to school, he's going to have some mixed ideas and mixed emotions about a lot of things. So you're going to have your parents who's going to teach this. And then you have the school that's going to teach the absolute opposite of what you want your kids to learn. You send your kids to indoctrination camp, they come back hellified liberal, hellified, what's the word I'm looking for? Feminist, rainbow flag, okay? And they think they know more than their parents. That's what happens if you send your kids to school in America. But that's what the movie is about. It's actually not about that, but it's about a mother trying to teach her son discipline. Now, once there, he meets his cousin. His cousin name is 𝗤𝗵𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘁. And 𝗤𝗵𝗴𝗵 is a scammer. He's a Nigerian scammer. He's the one where you get, oh, I lost my money. It's locked in this bank account. I am a Nigerian prince, and I can send you the money to your account. Once you get the money, you send the money back to me. And I don't know who falls for that, but I know a lot of people was down bad, and they got, right? A lot of people were looking for a way out. So his cousin was the internet scammer, right? Oh man, there's some money in Nigeria. I need your help to get it out. My uncle died. My uncle was unalived. My mother was unalived. Please help. He was one of those scammers. Okay. He specialized in internet fraud. Okay. Now 𝗥𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘁, which is the Nigerian American, wants to. He's in Nigeria, and he's just like any typical kid born in America. When you lived in America all your life, and that's all you know, and then you go back to your homeland, and you figure out, hey man, they ain't got running water. Hey man, they ain't got the electricity. They're using kerosene lanterns out there. Hey man, they're just, he had a culture shock. He's Nigerian American, and he moves, or his mom sends him to the motherland, to Nigeria, and he finds out that, hey man, I don't want to be here. It's boring over here. They barely got the internet. They barely got lights. The TV stations are not playing the stuff that I like. They're not playing the music that I grew up accustomed to. So he's having a hard time. So his whole thing is, I want to return back to the U.S. And he teams up with his scamming cousin from Nigeria. Go figure, right? What are Nigerians known for? Go figure, right? So he teams up with his scammer cousin, and they try to pull off this big con that's going to get him back to the United States. That's what this movie is about. But this is the interesting thing, right? This is what I want to discuss with that movie. And y'all got to get the likes up, man. Y'all really got to get the likes up, man. Y'all disrespecting right now. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. Bring the likes up, man. Don't disrespect black content creators. Show love. And guess what? Others will show love to you. You don't see my Cash App up here. I'm not asking for no money. I'm just saying show some love. We about to get into it. I want to break this down. If y'all haven't seen this movie, this is a good movie to watch, and you kind of understand the mind of a tether. Okay? Because there's a lot of Nigerian-born Americans in the United States. And in their mind, they feel like they're American. And their parents is like, no, nigga, you are Nigerian. And if you keep saying you're an American, I'm going to send you back. And that's what this mother did. This mother sent her son back to Nigeria. And he realized, hey, man, it's a 10, 20,000 times better over in America. Why would I ever want to come back to Nigeria? Why would I ever want to live in Nigeria? Now think about the tether mind. Somehow when tethers, the moment they get to America, they don't want to go back, do they? They say they're going back. They pretend like they're going back. But me and you know, we know, they ain't going back. But here's the problem. Here's the problem. They have no clue about the people who are already in America. The real black American, the real black people in America. They have no clue about the real black people in America, their history, their culture, their lineage, who they are. All they know is what they learned in school. And the school don't even teach about who the true Americans are, the real copper-colored people, the foundationals, right? The foundational black America. They don't really teach. They teach African history, but they don't really teach black history in school, right? So these kids grow up thinking we're just some displaced Africans, right? They think, oh, these African niggas, why can't they get their stuff together? You know, we work hard. I'm engineer. I'm doctor. I'm nurse. That's how they think. But they get a culture shock when they go back home. And they realize that they people over there is poor, 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 and poor. They ain't got running water, they ain't got lights, they ain't got toilets. And they're like, mama, get me out of here. Why did you send me to this country? Is this a punishment? I need to go back home. So 𝗖𝗄𝐻𝐶𝐻 is caught between two worlds. In his mind, he thinks he's black in America. And he's not Nigerian. But when he goes to Nigeria, he figures out that guess what? They don't even see him as Nigerian. He's not Nigerian enough. So right when he arrives, guess what they do? They run the game on him like he's an American, don't they? They say, oh, this dude is green. He's not really Nigerian. He doesn't even speak Nigerian. Oh, he must be an American. Let's get him. So they scam him. They scam him right off the bat in the beginning of the movie. They keep getting scammed at the airport. And I think the Australian YT guy sees it and figures and feels bad for the kid. The YT guy comes in, the Australian YT guy comes in because he's been in Nigeria many times, so he knows how things work. He goes up, picks up a phone, says, if you don't give my friend back his money, I'm gonna call. I work for the embassy, and I'm gonna call, and I'm gonna have your job, and I'm gonna have you thrown in jail. And the guy immediately comes up with the money and gives it back to the kid, right? Because he got scammed at the airport. Then the guy laughs it off like, man, I'm not really with the embassy. I just know what they do out here. And he understands that in Nigeria, they respect the YT man. Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do. They respect the YT man. They don't, you say embassy. Oh, they don't want no problems. They don't want no problems. They don't want no problems with anybody connected to the Europe or the Americans. They don't want no problems over there. They're going to be like, sorry, sir. I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry, sir. So this Nigerian kid realizes he's not Nigerian enough in Nigeria. And in his mind, he thinks he's a black American. He thinks he's from the lineage. He thinks he's this. He thinks he's this because all his friends Growing up in America, he thinks he's an American because he was born there, because his parents anchored him there. And you know what I love about this movie? It's so honest. It's so real. You know what his mother, guess what his mother's occupation was? She was a nurse. Guess what his father's occupation was? He was a cab driver, or better yet, an Uber driver. So think about that. Look how real to life that is. His father, Uber driver. Mom, nurse. This is what they do when they come here. This is the land of opportunities, and they think they got in their mind that they're doing better than a black American because the mom is a nurse and the dad is an Uber driver. Think about that, y'all. Think about how silly that is. Think about how many successful black Americans there are and the things that we're able to do in this country. Think about the businesses that we started. Think about all the genres we inspired and started and motivated. Think about all the things, the cultural things that we invented here in this country. And they in their mind, they think they're doing better than us because the mother is a nurse and the father is an Uber driver. Damn, man, you guys came all the way from Africa to do the same job that we've already been there, done that. You know what I'm saying? We've been there and done that already. Y'all got to go check this movie out, The Nigerian Prince. It's real. This film highlights the conflict of bicultural and the search for belonging. This guy is just trying to belong. And I feel bad. You know, it made me feel bad for some of these Nigerians, for some of these African coming over here, because I understand the dichotomy that they got to go through, the struggle that they got to go through, right? The moment they land here, and they spend time over here, they got family members at home that are probably never going to treat them the same again. The moment they show up in their own country, they're not going to get treated the same again. They're going to be subject to scam because they smell the money. They got to turn, when they come over here, some of them got to turn their phones off. Because they pick up their phone, somebody back home is going to be calling, asking for something. Hey man, the family's doing bad right now, man. Can you just send us some money? And they're like, man, I just got here. I literally just got here. I'm driving Uber. I'm living in a house with 10 other people, and we all pitching in. That's the life. That's the struggle. And they work hard and they work hard and they work hard. And then they're studying, they're going to school, they're studying. I'm not saying they don't study and they don't go to school. Now we know they're driving Uber and then they're studying because they're trying to become an engineer or a nurse, and they're trying to get their first house. So within 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years later, they got them a nice house, right? They got them a decent job, right? And they think they're doing, and in their mind, because they're doing better than their countrymen back home, they're okay. And let me tell you what happens. The moment they get that engineer and that nursing job, that's when you know they're never going back home. That's when you know they're never going back home. That's when they start becoming entitled. See, when they driving that Uber and they struggling and they hustling, they don't have that entitlement. When they're still, when they don't got that citizenship yet, and they only got they green card or whatever they got, their work visa if they got that, right? They're not entitled right there. But the moment they get that U.S. citizenship, the moment they get that permanent residence, that's when that entitlement comes in. That's when they start thinking they're better than the foundational black American on his own land. That's when they start thinking that. Oh yeah. Y'all go check this movie out, man. We about to go deep. This movie is true to life. It's on Netflix. Y'all can watch it. The Nigerian Prince. It's actually a good movie. I can say that. It's actually well directed, good acting in there, true to life acting in there. I mean, you want to know, like I said, you want to know the mind of a tether? There you go. Now you understand the struggle. He's not African enough in Africa, and he feels displaced when he's here, so he has to take on other people's identity so he can feel some sense of belonging somewhere. So of course they don't want to have, of course you got to understand, a lot of them, they don't want anything to do with Africa after that. The moment they come here, they don't want anything to do with Africa anymore. They feel like they are American. I'm an American now. No, an American, a true American, is copper-colored races found here by Europeans, according to the Webster's Dictionary of 1828. The true American is me, my family. That's who the true American is. But that's what they want, because they're never gonna feel that kinship again to Africa, because every time they go home, they're a meal ticket. Oh man, I need some money. Somebody passed away. They gotta stay dishing out money, dishing out money, dishing out money, dishing out money, dishing out money. Everywhere they go, they go try to get a regular haircut. All of a sudden, the price just jumps up. Oh, nigga, give me $20 now. The haircut costs $4, but now they gotta pay $20. They get taxed. They get taxed. They get taxed. So I wouldn't wish this on anybody, man. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. It's better just to stay in your homeland than to come over here. I'm gonna be honest, it's better just to stay in your homeland than to just come over here, because the moment you step over here, you're never going to be welcome back home again. It's never going to be the same. It's never going to be the same. Because especially now that foundational Black Americans are delineating, maybe it was okay in the beginning because we looked at y'all like y'all was black. Everybody's black. We're all one big bowl of Negro, right? But once we start seeing the entitlement that y'all start, especially y'all young ones, y'all feel entitled. Y'all feel like America owes you something, like you done some great stuff for America brother, you haven't done half, not even a quarter, not even a pinch of what the Black American has done in this country. You're never going to be on the level of sacrifice that the FBA has done. And now that we're delineating, now that we're separating, now that we're checking hairlines, now that we're looking at last names, now that we're doing all that, it's just going to get rougher for you. I'm gonna just be honest with you. Now that we making sure that y'all not going to be able to take our resources anymore, like y'all been to all them MLK scholarships, that's done. Politics, getting involved in politics, I don't care where you're running at. You're cooked. You're cooked, because who's gonna vote for you? Who are you gonna? What are you gonna do? Pretend you're gonna keep running the con that you're a Black American and that you're for the Black community when we know you're not? How's that gonna work out for you in 2025? How's that going to work out for you in Trump America when he's like, deport them all? Deport them all. And Black Americans are just staying out of it. Not getting involved. We're just not getting involved. You got to hold your own nuts now. The disrespect has gotten too much. If I was y'all, listen, I mean, man, I know y'all don't want to hear this. If I was y'all, I would just get on your knees and start begging. Please, nigga, take us back, nigga. Please, we sorry, nigga. We didn't mean to, nigga. I would do something like that. I would do something like that, man. And that's probably, and I'm be honest, that's not gonna work. You know, we're over it. You know, we could see, if y'all would just been respectful and just kept it respectful, we would have never got here. But the disrespect just got too much. He said only deport the men, not the women. That's what the brother's saying. Man, some of these women are, you know, a lot of they women are bed wenches, man. You know, some of the, you know, not down talking African women, nothing wrong with African women or African men, but let's just be real. A lot of them, they just have they just have that white tea. They wanna be the colonizer. They want to join the colonizer so much. See, we never see the difference between us and them is we never wanted to be the YT man. We were cool with just being black. I just got off the live. Shout out to Dr. No Job. And I was on Dr. No Job's live before. That's why I didn't show up. That's why I didn't start the live at 8 o'clock. I started like around 8:30, 8:40ish. Because I was on Dr. No Job's live, man. And on Dr. No Job, y'all got to give it up for that brother. That brother runs some good lives, man. He talk about some real stuff, and he got a lot of things going over there. So I give props to Dr. No Job, and that brother is doing his thing, okay? But this South African YT lady came up. Now, first of all, the Africans are talking about 𝗔𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘀𝘀𝗶cie like he's just the savior of Africa, which he could be. And he may very well be, but the problem is that Africans are the biggest problems to Africa. See, Africans want to blame Black Americans. They want to blame America and YT people, and they want to blame Europe. But the problem is not even Europe, not even America, and it's definitely not Black Americans, because we're just not interested enough to even care about what's going on over there, right? We're not even interested enough to be bothering Africans. We're just not. But the problem with Africans is Africans. Y'all don't want to stand on business. Y'all don't want to fight your own battle. Y'all don't want to support your own people. You're too tribal. Now, hopefully 𝗔𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘀𝘀𝗶 can unite Africa. Hopefully. But it's going to be a tough battle when you got to deal with haters. Because a lot of Africans are haters. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. Let's keep it a buck. They're haters. They hate on each other, and they hate on Black Americans. That's what they do. But they have no smoke for the YT man. Matter of fact, they don't even blame, I've heard so many Nigerians, I don't blame the YT men for slavery. YT man just wants to build a good home. He wants to do for his family. And if you give him a slave, he's going to take a slave. That's what I heard a Nigerian dude tell me one day. And I was just shocked, like, wow. They have no smoke for the YT man? So anyway, I'm in Dr. No Job's live, and this South African comes up, a YT lady from South Africa. And we have a Senegalese man on the panel, some Africans on the panel. And you know who was standing up for Africans? We started standing up for South Africans. They couldn't even stand up for themselves. They had no smoke for that YT lady. No smoke for her. Dr. No Job had to give her the smoke. Had to bring it to her. Because she had nerve to say that the Nigerians were invaders. She had nerve to say that the Nigerians were foreigners. Even though technically, you know, South Africa, Nigeria is Nigeria. But she considered herself as a South African. And we got people on the panel who are African, and they had no smoke for her. None whatsoever. She had nerve to say that she didn't do, you know, YT people are good, and they're only 7% of the population, and we love all of Africa. She was doing that all Africa lives matter over there. And we're just like, damn, but ain't y'all don't y'all got their land? Don't y'all got their farming? Don't y'all live in the better houses? And when we asked her if she was indigenous to South Africa, you know what she said? Yes, I'm indigenous to South Africa. I was born here. My father was born here. My grandfather was born here. And we just couldn't believe it. We just couldn't, yeah, she was full of something. We just couldn't believe it. But guess what? Guess who had no smoke for her? Africans. South Africans, Senegalese. Nobody had smoke for her. We had to give her that smoke. We had to tell her, no, ma'am, you're the invader. No, ma'am, You don't belong on that continent, man. We Black Americans, once again, had to step up and stand on business because they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to stand on business. Isn't that a shame? So here's what I know about South Africa. South Africa don't have a problem with the YT people. They look at, as long as you're born in South Africa, you're a South African. That's how South Africans, Black South Africans, Native South Africans believe. That's how they believe. So remember that beauty pageant? Remember that beauty pageant? Remember that beauty pageant? Yeah, we should, man, look, really, listen. Hold on, let me approve some things, some filtered messages. We should have minded. Listen, I even told Dr. Nojab, we should just stay out of it because we're not South African. We're not African. If they think this white lady should be in South Africa, that's their country, right? Let that go. But we were like, hell. I mean, everybody on the panel was like, hell no. We gonna have to give it. We gonna have to teach her something. We gonna have to educate her. We gonna have to get. We felt more indignant than they felt. But remember that beauty pageant they had in South Africa, and the Nigerian woman won the pageant, and all the South Africans were upset. She's not from South Africa. She's Nigerian. How can she win a South African beauty pageant and she's not even South African? She's Nigerian. But here's the sad truth. If it was a YT South African that won the pageant, they wouldn't have had no smoke. They would have been so proud. Look at our South African beauty queen. Look at this YT woman from South Africa. Isn't it lovely? Isn't she great? See, if one of us had the nerve to go over there and win their beauty pageant, they would have ran us up out of there. They would have ran us up out of there. First of all, man, we can't be a descendant. First of all, we're over here winning. We're winning so much. We're winning so much here in America that we can't be descendants of no Africans. I'm just sorry. We're winning too much. We don't flee. Our mindset is totally different from the continental African. Y'all can't even stand up for yourself when you're supposed to stand up. That's a shame. Listen, right now, listen, I feel bad. I feel a little bit bad because I understand a little bit why y'all don't like your homeland. I get it now. Especially after watching this movie right here, The Nigerian Prince. Y'all need to go check it out. It's on Netflix. I get it now. I get it. When you got to go back home and you see a defeated people who won't even stand up for themselves, who won't do nothing to expel the corruption out of their country, who are subjects to puppet leaders for, well, I ain't gonna say forever, but when are y'all gonna do something about it? When are you gonna do something about it? When are you gonna do something about it? You got 𝗔𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘀𝘀𝗶cie standing on business, and y'all just sitting on the sidelines. And you know what? Black Americans are like, we could help y'all if we wanted to. We could shine light on y'all situation over there and make and magnify and amplify the voice. But now, the disrespect from the ones that the tethers that came over here, we're not interested anymore. The Kenyan are fighting. Okay, I shout out to Kenya, man. I got love for Kenya. I really do. I got Kenya there's a warm spot in my heart for Kenyans and the country of Kenya. right? Because when I went to Africa, East Africa, man, they showed me love out there. I give them props for that. But y'all still be scamming. Y'all still be lying. Y'all still be scamming. Y'all still be lying. And y'all president is not on 𝗤𝗏𝗄𝗁's side. They look at 𝗤𝗏𝗄𝗁 like a criminal because he took power. He did what y'all should be doing in y'all country today. He took power. He said, I'm tired of the corruption, and said, oh, we taking over. And we getting these people up out of here. They ain't supposed to be up in here. Yeah, we know they've been colonized, but man, listen, when are y'all going to, listen, y'all been around enough Black Americans, influence. Y'all dress like us. Y'all want to look like us. Y'all want to talk like us. I mean, y'all seen all our movies. Y'all should know how to stand up by now. Y'all got YouTube. Go check out Tariq Radio. Go check out Professor Black Truth. Man, there's a young brother on TikTok and on YouTube named Afro Elite. If y'all don't know who Afro Elite is, y'all better check that young brother out, man. That young brother is amazing. He speaks to, he goes to city hall meetings and give them the business. That brother is eloquent, articulate, a straight soldier. Y'all should be inspired by Afro Elite, a young man standing on business. He's on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter. Go check out Afro Elite. That brother is strong, man. Go check out Vicky Dillard on YouTube. I mean, there's so many, man. If y'all don't know how to stand up, man, listen. It's in our genes. It's in our DNA. It's our very spirit. Our very spirit is to resist. Our very spirit is to stand out, be different, not to blend in, not to look like the oppressor. Our very spirit is resilience. Y'all need to take some of this instead of hating on us because we're doing because we did and we're doing what we're supposed to do. Y'all need to be getting the game from us. Stop hating. See, that's the problem in Africa. Y'all some haters. Y'all hate. The moment somebody does better than y'all hate. How can you be a warrior when you're the majority over there and you're getting swatted like fly swat? You're getting swatted like flies by every foreigner that comes over into your land. How can you be a warrior when you're the majority and all your resources are being extracted? You're getting all this foreign aid from other countries. It's like they're treating y'all like babies. It's like they're putting puppet mittens on y'all. You know what I'm saying? They're putting kids' gloves on y'all. They're saying, oh, these are children. They can't do it on their own. How can you, knowing that that's what they're doing, they're sunning you. They're sunning you, and you just accept it. You invent more lies. We don't have water. Help us with water. Build more wells. Knowing y'all got water out there. Come on, I've been out there. Y'all got water. Y'all got water. You understand what I'm saying? But y'all rather y'all rather run the scam. Y'all rather run the scam. I'll bring you up. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring you up. I want to do this a different way. I want to bring up people one at a time, and then if anybody in the audience wants to holler at the person that I'm talking to, I'm gonna start bringing y'all up that way. That way we don't all talk over each other and do all that thing. I want to bring up one at a time, chop up some game, and then drop somebody, let somebody else come up, and then we chop up some game that way. So I want to do something a little bit different. Okay, so y'all bear with me. Let me bring up this brother. He wants to come up. Let's see what he has to say. What's up, brother?
What's going on, bro?
Chilling. Where you from, brother?
I'm from the States, but my folks are Haitian.
Okay. So you're Caribbean. Okay, that's what's up. Talk to me.
Yeah, man, what's going on with all this? Like, you know what I mean? It's hate. If you're not
Is
African
it
American blood,
is
like,
it hate? Is it hate or is it truth? What did I hate on? What does a non FBA have for me to hate on?
well,
Or am I just spitting truth?
well,
Where's the hate at? When I'm just pointing out the obvious, where's the hate at? You tell me. Where's the hate at?
I guess in your defense, I should say, like, I didn't really hear your stance, particularly you, like, but you
So
wearing
why
an
you request
FBA.
up?
You,
Why did you
wait, hold
request
on,
up and you didn't even hear what I had
hold
to
on,
say?
hold on, because you're wearing an FBA hat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And majority of people I hear with, well, that, claims to be FBA usually spreads hate. That
Okay.
guy got no job, and
So since you're hating on FBA and you're
I'm
saying
not
and
hating on it.
you're
Yeah.
not respecting FBA as a lineage, that could be the problem right there, sir. We're
Nah,
not a
nah.
group. We're a lineage.
See, the
43
thing
million
is,
strong. 43 million
yeah, and
strong.
the thing is, I have nothing but respect for FBA, bro. Like,
Okay.
full blooded. Oh, what's it called? Full black. What's it called? What's
Foundational.
foundational Black
Black
American? Yeah, like,
American.
I got respect for them. Like, you know what I mean? They laid a lot of, like, uh shit that we all benefit, throughout the whole Black diaspora. But at the same time, I hear a lot of FBAs neglecting truths about how they benefited from foreign Black. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay. How do we benefit from foreign Black? You explain that to me. How do we benefit from y'all? Tell me.
did you hear about the German up coast rising, the German rising, German up coast rising?
German up coast rising. Where does this happen in
I,
Germany? German
nah,
up.
nah. I think
I don't know what's going on, brother. You still there?
coast uprising. You ever heard about that?
The German up coast rising. No,
No.
where
The
is
German coast rising. All right, the German coast rising is known to be the greatest slave revolt on U.S. soil in Louisiana. Right now, that was led by a Haitian.
See, hold on. Say, brother, see, we don't have no problem with the riders. We don't have any problem. See, okay, if we go back hundreds of years ago, y'all was probably cool. Y'all was probably cool back then, right? But we're talking about the ones today.
Bro, ain't no different, bro.
Brother, y'all
Like,
not the same.
don't,
Y'all not the same as
bro,
y'all not the same today, brother. Let me tell you something. The ones back then, they stood on business and they did what they had to do to get their freedom. The ones today, y'all don't do that today. Y'all just come over here. That's what y'all do. There's stuff going on in your homeland right now, brother. And you're here worrying about what Black Americans are doing and talking about when there's things that need to be done at home.
Hey, brother, listen, man. In every group, you're gonna find bad apples and good apples, bro. In
So,
every single group. The
so
only thing that changed from back then to now is now we got social media where you can actually hear the voices of these bad apples. You feel me? Like, yo, ain't nothing changed, bro. Like,
So
this
when are
African.
y'all going to check them? When are y'all going to check them so we don't have to?
It,
Because we've been waiting.
listen,
We
man.
waited patiently until we couldn't wait no more, and we said, "Well, damn, if that y'all not going to check them, we're going to check them." And guess what? We don't care who catch strays. We don't care if your feelings get hurt because we're going to check a few feathers.
Hey, listen, man. And I'm speaking truth when I say this. Like, you can't blame it all on immigrants, man. Like, at the same time, there's a lot of Black African Americans who gave a lot of immigrants hard times when they came here. You feel me? Like,
Brother,
I remember stories, like, you know what I mean?
brother. Listen. Hazing and roasting. Okay, roasting is part of our culture, brother. We're gonna get you right. If you're wearing Jesus sandals, we're gonna tell you about it. right?
Nah, it wasn't just roasting, bro. It was there
If
was
your hairline wasn't crisp, we gonna let you know about it. Okay,
bro.
we're gonna
Nah,
get you right. But hold on. Once you show us that you're strong enough and you make the adjustments, you cool. We don't mess with you after that. That's how
but
it
listen,
goes in every neighborhood, brother. The moment
bro,
you
it
show
wasn't.
us that you're not weak and you're strong, you're one of us. Come chill, come kick it.
But listen, bro, it wasn't just roasting, bro. It was literally a day dedicated for Haitian beat up day, bro. In my town,
Where you from? Where you
like
from?
it,
Florida?
like
Where you from? Florida?
nah, I'm from Jersey, bro.
Okay, from Jersey. Listen, brother. I'm gonna tell you like this, brother. A lot of those
Like,
people.
like
Hold on, brother. A lot of those people you thought were FBAs weren't FBA. Those were
no,
other.
I'm
Those are
talking
your
about
fellow Jamaicans. Those are your fellow Caribbeans, brother.
yo,
FBAs, we
yo,
don't do
bro.
that.
Listen, bro. Like
We don't have a day
we got
where we beat up
listen, man.
Haitians, brother. We don't
Listen,
have a day
man.
like that. That's a lie.
All right,
That's
bro.
not
You
our culture. That's
so
not
now
what
you
we do.
so now you calling me a
Listen,
liar. All right, bro.
yeah, your fellow Jerseyan down there is saying not true. I lived in Jersey. We don't do. Listen, just because
Bro,
some cosplaying Jamaicans were pretending to be Black Americans that day, and they decided to whoop on y'all, that ain't got nothing to do with us.
bro, it was Jamaicans help. I remember, bro. I remember
It was. See,
vividly,
you
bro.
just admitted it was Jamaicans helping. It was Jamaicans
Helping,
helping.
helping, no, helping me, helping us. Like it was literally African Americans.
I don't know about that, brother. You must have said
Like,
something to an African. You must have said something to a foundational Black American, and he took it. And he said, "Okay, I'll catch
all
you
right.
after
In
school."
any case, I'm not gonna let my experience with some, you know, African Americans ruin it for others. You feel me? Like, and I think I just don't understand why you guys don't have that same
Anybody want to come up and talk
same
to this
approach,
brother?
bro.
Anybody want to come up and talk to this brother? Anybody want to come up and talk to this brother, man?
Like,
Let me bring up mosquito burgers. Let me bring up mosquito burgers. I don't know. I don't know if he's a well. It looks like he's not coming up. Let me bring up Harden Carr. I don't know if anybody want to come up and talk to him. I'm just gonna start bringing people up and then dropping them down. Bringing people up and dropping them down. If y'all have any questions for him. Looks like nobody wants to come up. I accepted 2 people to come up and they didn't come up. So hold on. Let's see. We got some more people trying to come up. Let me bring up this person right here. Hold on. It says connecting, but I don't know.
You got your internet slow.
Now my internet's pretty fast.
I'm here.
You're here?
And
This
you're
is Carolyn in Chicago.
Okay, Carolyn. I don't know why we can't see you on the screen. I think TikTok is
It's
glitching.
probably something you hear my voice.
Yeah, I hear your voice. I do.
Okay. Um, I find it very interesting, and I'm older than both of you all. I just look young. But one of the things I do remember here in Chicago and Detroit, since we ran back and forth, I have never heard of anybody chasing immigrants, especially Black immigrants, anywhere. Most of them stay to themselves, and 90% of all the Africans that come to Chicago and the Caribbean, they go live on the north side with the white folks. They never lived in our community. Right now, you got 2 Africans that ran for office in Colorado and Utah and the Caribbean. They think they got it made because they're the only blacks they allowed to get voted in. But see, we got a long history. I'm not mad with none of them. We hardly know any of them in Chicago and Detroit. They didn't live with us. And I love it when they tell the truth. Brothers and sisters would ask them certain questions, especially Africans. Why? Well, our parents tell us we too ghetto. Stay away from the black Americans. We all heard all that. But you're right when you said something early on. It was us who got those black people on their start to freedom in South Africa. I was 14 years old running around carrying them signs, telling them to stop buying cougar rands. Oh, a lot of us did that from the East Coast to the Midwest. It was us. It was us who was on the FBI list, walking around with, what was his name? And after the CIA killed him, Patrice, I can't think of his last name. It was us. So, I hate to hear that, but I tell all African Americans right now, you see, we sitting down. We dance on the line dance. We're not even getting involved with none of that crap. Because you know what? We're not going to be appreciated. So we're going to take care of things. We're not going to go against you. But you all are definitely sucking 10 yards of white folks' butt. That's for sure. These immigrants are doing that.
I don't know who that was directed to. Definitely not no Haitians, because we never kiss white man's butt. But at the end of the day, you said something about Chicago. A Haitian founded Chicago. And
We
on top of
already
that,
know that,
Okay,
darling. We
yeah,
already
yeah,
know
yeah.
about
See, that's the
him.
thing. We know about that, and you guys want to keep. You act like that's okay. Great. He founded it. That's it.
That's it.
That's
That's
it.
all he did. I
But
went to the school named after him,
Haitians are not.
𝗔𝗯ance.
Yeah, Haitians are not Black Americans, and Black Americans are not Haitians.
It's a whole different
but
culture.
why
It's a whole different
when you do
culture.
your ancestry, you find a lot of
No, you don't.
similarities.
Okay, similar because it's called slave trade, brother. It's called
All right,
slave.
so then technically bro, you know when Haiti won their independence, you know a lot of African Americans went to Haiti, right?
Some did, yeah, of course, yeah. Some
You
did.
think you can go to Haiti right now and pinpoint those African Americans?
No, brother, because guess what? They had something called a ethnogenesis, just like we had here in the United States. So those are not the same people. Those are not the same foundational Black Americans that they were before. That's just what it is, brother. They've been there
Exactly.
too
So like
long, so they're Haitian now,
exactly.
and they
My
mixed
point
in and
exactly.
married
My
in,
point
and they're
exactly,
Haitian.
bro. My
Yes,
point exactly. They've
yes,
been there for so
yes.
long and now they're Asian.
Right. But here's
Same
the
same
but here's the thing, man. That does listen. You haven't been here long enough to be an American. You can be a citizen, but that
Okay.
don't mean
Maybe in
nothing.
100 years I'll be my descendants will be an
Your
American, right?
children will be Americans, correct?
Okay.
Because you know what? One of the things that I'm listening to you all. Um, the reason why everybody can rep themselves, and this I may have a little different pull for this from the host. I just want to say this because this is what I know. Um, everybody can rep themselves, and I know it's all the immigrants. We think, and we so loving, we thinking that you come up here calling yourself African American, but you're not doing that.
No,
Your first thing come out your mouth is, "I'm Nigerian. I'm not African American. I'm Jamaican. I'm
I'm
not."
not
All
Black.
that came out, and
I'm
we started paying
Haitian.
attention.
That's what I heard.
See,
I'm
white
not
folks are
Black. I'm
telling
Haitian.
y'all different, but that's okay. We know that now. Remember, I'm older than both of y'all. I was around in the '60s, okay, and I can tell you, you hardly can even find an African, okay, in the '60s. But you came here, and all of a sudden, you're different. But wait a minute. Always remember, honey, in America, on this country, we've been here since 1619. Everything across this globe, every culture, every food, every dress, every style started with us. I had to
Come
tell a
on.
young lady today. I said, "Did you realize, honey, in slavery there was dances called prize dance? Did you know after the prize dance it's called the stand, the shuffle? After that you got into the Charleston. After that you got into bebop, sweet talk. After that you got into rock and roll. You got into blues. You got into hip hop. It all came from the AA community, United States of America. Every dance, the twist they were doing in the White House in the '60s, all that came from us. So when you talk about American culture, you're talking about what came out the black community,
Yeah,
not from the
nobody's disputing that. I agree. I agree. Like Black Americans, their culture is very influential, but why you have to downplay other people's influence onto Black Americans as
I
well?
don't think that's happening, sweetheart. Let me.
Right. Yeah, no,
I'm
because you
sorry,
like
honey. Go ahead. You want to go first? Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Hold
Let
on.
him
Hold on.
go.
Hold on. Hold on. We're not
Okay.
down. See, here's the thing. We don't downplay. Y'all want us to downplay our greatness so we can fit in with y'all, and we're not doing that anymore. We're not walking around humble saying, "Oh, it was 50-50 with hip hop. Oh, Haitians, they contributed to." No, now we're saying, "What did you contribute?" We're
are
making
you
y'all show your work. We're making y'all show
yeah,
your work.
and and
Show
and
your
I could
work
give you
because
a
we know
long
what we
list.
contributed. We know what we contributed. But what did you? Okay, you want to give the list? Go ahead, give us the
Bro,
list.
how did Caribbeans contribute? Are you asking
Yeah,
that for real?
yeah. Go ahead and give us the list because we already got a list, and it's pretty
Okay.
long, brother. The rap sheet is long. But go
I
ahead and
already
continue.
mentioned, I already mentioned one of the greatest slave revolt was led by a Haitian, right, in American soil,
I don't know
And
if it
what
right?
was
year
the
was
greatest.
that?
I don't
And
know if
what
that
year
was the
was
Ma'am,
that?
greatest. You talking about the German
it was
coast,
the history of Black Americans. Like, it don't
the
matter what
German
year,
coast
right?
uprising, brother? That wasn't the biggest because we had somebody called Nat
Bro,
Turner, brother.
Hey man,
look
I
it
was
up.
just getting ready to say
Yeah, but
Hold on,
Nat
Nat
brother.
Turner,
We
Turner
had
did it first.
brother.
bro,
I know
Nat
you want to
Turner.
big up.
All
I know
right,
you
all
want
right.
to
You want
big
to
up
talk about
yours,
Nat Turner? You want
but
to
we
talk
got
about Nat
Nat
Turner?
Turner, brother.
Bro, you want to not talk about Nat Turner? Who was Nat Turner inspired by, bro? He even got inspiration from the Haitian Revolution, bro. Like,
Brother,
Nobody
it
can
really,
say. Wait a
brother.
minute
all right,
now.
Listen, hold on,
I'm
brother.
just saying,
Again,
you asking what the
again.
Haitians
Those,
contribute,
okay. Those Haitians were riders. The Haitians today, not the
bro. You
Haitians.
can't do that. You can't do that, bro. You
I
can't do
can
that,
because
man.
okay, if
Because you
you
know what I
guys
can say? I
hold
can
on,
say the
hold
African
on, brother.
Americans back
No,
then
but you
were
can't. No,
riders
you
as well,
can't
bro.
because we still ride now. You guys,
Nah,
we still got a track record in 2025.
the
We
African
can go to
Americans back
Lincoln.
then
We can
was
go
not going
Patton.
around hating on other black immigrant groups, bro.
We're not hating, but no. See,
Why
brother,
you
That
keep
they
that's
was
saying
not
that?
doing that,
brother.
bro.
Hold on, brother. We didn't start this. We didn't start this, brother.
Yes, y'all
No,
did.
no.
I don't see no other group
Hold
doing
on.
that.
Your parents started this by teaching you anti-black hatred. Growing up, telling you you're not black, you're Haitian. Don't hang out with the blacks. They're
They
lazy.
sure
They're
did.
this. They're that. Your parents started that,
Bro, it
brother.
was the
And we
same
hold on, brother.
thing,
And
bro. It
we
was the
allowed
same
it.
thing.
Hold on,
Why
brother. No,
can't you
brother,
agree?
brother. Listen. Your parents started practicing the anti-black hatred first. Y'all the ones who didn't want us to. Everywhere we go in America, there's a little Haiti somewhere. Why is there a little Haiti? Because y'all don't want to be around black folks. If
Nah,
there
that
wouldn't
is
be a little
so
Haiti.
not
No,
true,
brother.
bro.
That is
That's
true,
not true.
brother.
That's not
That
true at all,
is
man.
true, brother. That is true, brother. I
Listen.
know
You
you.
got
Listen, hold on. Let me tell you something, brother. I know your culture very well. Sepa Pudat. Come on.
yeah.
Grundu.
You from Florida, right?
No, I'm not from Florida, brother, but I know Haitians, brother. I know
All right.
Haitians.
All right. Listen, bro. Listen.
Sepa Pudat. Mape Chante Pou. Sepa Pudat. Mape Reve. I know Haitians, brother. I know the hate that y'all say in the background. Y'all have
Yeah,
more
yo,
love for
but
the.
you
Y'all
so
have. Hold
you
on,
really gonna
brother.
sit here and say
Yes, brother.
all Haitians are like
I
that?
didn't say all, brother, but I know it.
So
Listen,
you gonna say most
practice.
Haitians are like that?
Y'all practice
Or are you gonna say
anti-black.
most? Are you gonna
Y'all
say most
practice,
Haitians are like
brother.
that, bro?
Brother, let me tell you something, brother. My ex-wife was Haitian. That's how I know Haitians. Okay, my ex-wife was Haitian, brother, and her uncle almost slapped her up when he found out that she was just dating a black American, not even marrying, just dating a black American, brother.
All right,
Okay,
bro. Listen, man.
okay.
I'm not gonna sit
The
here and
when
say.
brother,
I'm not gonna sit here and
brother,
say
when
that, bro. But
when I went over to that side, brother, they thought they had all kind of misconceptions about Black Americans,
and
and
you
then
know
when
how
they
many
met
Black
me, then
Americans
they were
didn't
like,
like?
"Oh man, you're not
Come
what we
on, man.
expected.
You being
You're not
unfair
what
right
we
now, bro.
thought." Blah blah blah
Okay,
blah
can
blah.
I say this, Vegas?
You being
I just want
unfair
to say
right now,
this.
bro.
I'm being real. I'm
I
being real.
Nah.
I'm
understand.
telling the truth.
First of all, you're not even letting
Yeah,
me to
well,
speak, bro. Like,
again, I'm from the Midwest, and I went back and forth between Detroit and Chicago, so that's the culture I was brought up in. And there were not a lot of immigrants when we were coming up. You all are very recent and truly no African. But one thing about Black Americans, it always been that fact. We romanticize all these people. We just assume when they come over here, they'll be with us. We always thought that way.
Yeah, that's
And
the
then we
way we
found out
think.
in the last 30, 40 years, they don't like us. We went
Y'all don't
like,
even want to
now we
stand
wake
on
up and when
business.
I first found
Listen,
it out, let me
what's
tell you the
that
first thing I
Haitian dude?
realized. When
Hold
they
on. What?
started saying, what's wrong with ADOS and what's wrong with the FBA? And
Yeah,
I'm going like,
yeah.
wait a minute, what are they talking about? Then I realized that all that stuff you mentioned about certain benefits that they were getting, and I'm like, but they don't like them. They want to be just like, they want us to just be black. We are black. We've been black from day one. But just like you rep around, I'm Haitian American. I'm Nigerian American. I'm this American. You know what the brother said to a couple of people at work? He said, let me tell you, we would respect you better if you just say I'm African American, a descendant of Haitian. That was different. But you don't say that. You put the pre first. You are American. Were you born and raised here, young man?
yeah, I what? But see,
Okay,
you
then you're
gotta
an African
understand.
American because that's when your
No,
original
Hold on,
People came from the continent. So
hold
you're
All
an
right.
African American of Haitian descent. You are Nigerian American. I mean, you're an African American of Nigerian descent.
no,
Put
hold
that
on,
first. Then we have more respect for you.
no, hold on, real quick, because I hear what you're saying, mother, but
Okay.
we gotta check some of that at the door real quick.
Okay.
We gotta do it like this. Listen, what we're saying now, maybe before, we were all one big Negro. We're no longer one big Negro. It's our tribe, it's your tribe, it's their tribe, and we're not. And we're saying we're delineating.
Oh, sure. I
You are,
understand this. I
you
agree with
are,
the FBA
you are,
ADOS. I agree 100% because it's the
you
one
are.
taught me. They separated themselves. Why not us?
Yeah, hold on, mother. Hold on. We're saying you're Haitian now. You're Haitian American. You're Nigerian American. You're Jamaican American. We have to say we don't want y'all included in our numbers. We want y'all out because here's also what we're finding out. A lot of the crime is not being done by Black Americans. Let's keep it a buck. A lot of the crime, especially lately, is
Baby, and them Nigerians came up in this country
is
slick
not
as. I
listen.
never forget. I
We
went to a bank and they said to
all
me, "Are
hold
you
on,
Nigerian?" I don't
hold
tell you
on.
about. She was crazy.
We're all one big Negro. When there's some crime, we're all one big Negro. Everybody's black when it's crime. When it's time to do
Oh
some
yeah,
crime.
you're right. I was surprised and shocked when I first
But
noticed in
when
the
it's
early
time for
'80s. You go
accolades,
to the bank, they ask you, "Are you Nigerian?" I go like, "What?" I couldn't understand what that was all about. Couldn't
listen.
find out they've been running scams from
When
all
it,
50 states.
when it's time for accolades, when it's time for resources, y'all Black American. But when it's time
That's
for
exactly what's going on.
when it's time for the spelling bee, Nigerian American. Well,
Did you hear something
we
about some
want
Sudanese
we
so they
want
should get
this
reparations?
Haitian American. Y'all separate y'all wins, but y'all want to dump all y'all losses on us, and we're no longer taking that. We're saying, listen,
No.
if you go do some crime, make sure we know that it was y'all that did it and not us that did it because y'all giving
I'm just
us.
saying. So you feel some type of way because we
Let him talk.
like it don't make no sense to me because like I
Yeah,
don't
we
see
feel some
white
type of
people.
way when y'all do some crime and y'all blame it, and we get blamed for it. We
I
do
don't
feel
see nobody. I don't see nobody doing it. I don't see nobody blaming y'all for the crime.
no. It is the media. The
The
first thing they
media
say
is
is
doing it.
Black
Okay, then you gotta
Americans,
take it up
Black
to the media with
Americans,
that. Like,
Black.
why?
No. But then y'all side with it. Y'all say, what about the crime in Chicago?
Hey,
Black.
man, I'm gonna be real with you, bro. This is
Hold
what the
on.
FBA look like.
Hold
Hold
on.
on. Let me just say real
Hold
quick.
on. You know
All right,
why?
all right.
You know why they think that? You know why they think we're all black? Because y'all dress like us, y'all talk like us, y'all try and look like us, y'all try to rap like us, y'all try to sing like us. So guess what they gonna think? Y'all are us. And we want y'all to go back to the Jesus sandals again. We want y'all to go back to the when y'all didn't have the fades, okay? Because y'all looking too much like us and y'all passing too much for us and y'all dumping all y'all garbage and y'all degenerate behavior on us. And we got it to the point now where we even got to tell the white folks, man, that ain't us, man. You know,
All right. Let me just tell you. Let me just tell you something real
like
quick,
that.
bro. Like,
Yeah, let him speak.
yeah, yo, y'all, have you ever just like sat and just thought, how do you guys look like to the white people right now, or just the whole world, even like?
Brother, let me
Y'all
tell you
going
something.
Let
that
him
hold on,
see.
hold on,
Let's
hold
see
on,
what he
hold on,
getting
hold
with
on. I'm
this.
not even finished, bro. Like y'all
We
literally going
never
after the
cared.
y'all go exactly, but y'all look scared. Y'all look like y'all gave up fighting against the true enemy, but now
No,
y'all going
no,
after
no,
the
brother. You
weak
know what? You know,
y'all
let me
I
going
let
never
after
me
the
tell
heard
you
that
what.
one.
immigrants. That's
Let me
weak,
tell you.
bro. That's
Hold on,
weak, man.
hold on.
That's
No,
weak,
brother.
bro.
No,
Like
brother.
you
You're
can't
weak.
get to the true enemy,
No, brother.
but now
No,
you
brother.
gotta
Let me tell you.
now you
No,
gotta
no,
get
brother. Brother, let
get
me
to a
hold on.
black
Listen,
immigrant.
brother.
Like,
You're not gonna talk over me.
Wow.
I'll mute you. You're not
I ain't
gonna
never
talk over
heard
me.
that one.
You're not gonna talk. You're gonna listen. Since you came up here, you're gonna listen. Let me tell you what it is, brother. Let me tell you what it is. It's not that we stopped fighting. We've always been fighting and resisting the system of oppression. We've always been resisting white supremacy. We made it a thing not to look like them, not to talk like them, not to be like them. We don't want to be them, brother. We never
so
want to
you
be.
trying to tell me that's the true fight of fighting somebody who looks
No.
like you
The truth,
versus
yes. Let me tell
somebody
you.
who
Let
literally
me
puts
tell
you
you.
in this
Let
hellhole
me
that you're
tell
in
you
right
who
now?
is. Let me tell
Like
you who is.
that's what you're fighting against. That's the
Let
fight
me
you're
tell
picking
you.
against. Somebody
No,
who
brother.
looks like
No,
you.
brother. No, brother. Let me
Like
tell
you
you.
feel what I'm saying? Like
No,
you a
brother. Let me
grown man.
tell you.
Like bro,
Let
y'all
me tell you.
grown.
Brother, listen up, brother. Stop talking over me. Jesus, I gotta mute you now. Just listen. This is what it's always been, brother. See, there's an enemy within now. You guys are in our politics, and you don't have affinity for us. You don't have love for us. You guys are making laws and all this stuff that harm us now. You guys are being very gatekeep and territorial. When we get on the job site, y'all make sure y'all get the jobs and we don't get the jobs. That's what's going on now, brother. So you're saying, look at the YT, look at the YT, but guess what? They're the obvious.
Listen, bro.
It's the ones that's not the obvious that we have to worry about. It's the brother next door who we think, man, I don't know if he's foundational Black American or not, but he looks like us. He talks like us. It's y'all saying we don't need reparations. It would remember that Jamaican lady and that Jamaican man who stood up and said,
That's
people don't
true.
need reparations. They got affirmative action. What they need why can't they just pull themselves up? We got y'all speaking in the media for us. We got a bunch of tethers in the Black Caucus who are speaking up against Black Americans, saying what we don't need. So you're saying not to look at that? Not to look at the enemy from within, the obvious enemy.
You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? What's the true enemy, bro? I'm asking you, what's the true enemy?
We're saying we gotta no. You don't know who the true enemy is because you never fought them. We're the only ones who fight.
Yo, bro, listen, man. You look weak. It looks weak, bro. It looks weak because you're fighting. You're fighting against immigrants. That's how low you are, bro. Like you're fighting against immigrants rather than fighting against the people who.
You know what looks weak, brother? What looks weak is you over here in America, chilling, thinking you're one of us, and your people are back home suffering.
Bro.
That looks weak, brother. Listen. You look weak, brother. You look weak that you're over here in a foundational Black American live, whining and complaining.
It's really not. It's really not. You know why? You know why, bro? Haitians fought for this country too, man.
When you got your people back home, brother, that need you more. When you bring your education here and you don't want to go home. See, you need to watch this movie, Nigerian Prince, brother, and you can learn a lot. You need to go watch the movie Nigerian Prince on Netflix, brother, and learn about the dichotomy, how you're no longer accepted in Haiti and how you're looked at differently because you're in the United States and how you're an outcast even here in the United States because you're a little off. You don't have a home. So you might as well go deliver your people. That's what you might as well do because you're never gonna have that easiness on this land because it doesn't belong to you. This is Black American country.
It's your country because it belongs to you. Because you fought for this country. You beat the white man for this country. Y'all beat the white man for this country. It's your country
and
now,
look
right?
at y'all. Y'all are doing.
Bro, I ain't saying nothing. I'm not saying you the one that's saying this is Black American country.
This is Black American country, sir. Yes, it is.
And I'm asking you, what makes it your country?
Because we are the copper-colored races. That's why.
Bro,
we were here before the white man was here. That's why.
Oh Lord.
Stop, bro.
This is our country, brother. This is ours.
It's okay to be African, bro. You're from Africa.
No. We're not African.
Yes, you are.
We're not African. No, brother. If you want to be African, see, that's the problem. When we tell you who we are, you don't respect it. So guess what? You don't deserve to be in our country or be around our people. As long as we know you have that mindset, we can never we can never ally ourselves with you, brother. Never.
So what are you? If you don't mind me asking?
I'm a foundational Black American.
Yeah, I know, but what's your origin?
My origin is America.
Okay, it's your ancestry. Like where's the ancestry?
Let me spell it out for you like this, brother. Okay, let me spell it out for you like this. My people been here for over 400 years. We were here before there was a United States. You understand? We were here before there was a United States. And I don't gotta prove anything other than that. We're indigenous to the United States because before there was a United States, we were here. Now, whether you want to bring up chattel slavery, That was before the United States, brother. Doesn't matter. We had an ethnogenesis on this land. I got many mixtures in me, brother. I got European ancestry. I got African
Yeah,
ancestry.
but that isn't what
I
I'm
got
saying.
indigenous ancestry, brother. I got Blackfoot, Cherokee. Brother, I'm an amalgamation of things, and that's what makes up a Black American, brother. You're
Yeah, but
Haitian. It's cool. You had an ethnogenesis, brother, because you were not originally the native there. You mixed in with the African also, brother. You
I'm
mixed in
actually
with the African
50%
and
Haitian.
you mixed in with the native and you became Haitian.
Hey, listen,
You're
listen.
not 100% African,
All right, but
but you
listen, man.
got African ancestry in you, brother,
What I'm
and that's
saying
what it
is,
is.
you made a
So
claim that
I am
America's.
here. I am an American, and you are a Haitian. That's what it is, brother.
All right, but you made a claim that America's yours. How is America yours?
I just told you, brother.
No,
Americans.
you explained to me how
I
you're
am.
an
The
American, but
very definition of
it's
American
not.
is me. The very definition of American is me. Go look up the Webster's Dictionary and look up the definition of American, and it says the Aboriginal copper-colored races found here by the Europeans. That was the original definition for American, and that's me. As last time I looked, brother, I look copper colored, brother. You put a penny up, we the same damn color. My people, Blackfoot, Cherokee, brother, I'm American. I'm a true American. And guess what? The Africans that came over that mixed in with us, they are Americans, brother. Because guess what? They practice none. They didn't speak their language, and they didn't practice none of the stuff they were doing over there in Africa because they couldn't. They wasn't allowed. They mixed in with the indigenous Black Americans here, and we became one. Our fight was their fight. Their fight was our fight. We are Americans. We are more American than the YT people even on this land, brother, because they
So
know.
if you American, right?
And
Why
here,
other?
just
Can
the
I ask you a
very,
question,
just
bro?
oh, no,
I,
brother, because hold on,
so I can't ask you a question.
just the very idea that you're questioning my Americanness, you're questioning my lineage, lets me know why we cannot align with you.
No, you educated me right now, right? Thank you. I appreciate you for educating me. Now let me ask you a question. So if you're an American, right? Why are the white tea people treating you the way they do? Why is the cops killing you in the streets? Why are you
Don't
still
say
viewed
that
as
word on
second
the
class
live, brother.
citizens?
Don't say that word on the live, brother. You know how to use
I
TikTok.
unalive it. My bad. But like, why they still treating you like second class citizens? And second part of the question, why aren't they the true enemies
Brother, we
if
know
they
who,
hold the power in putting you in that position? Like, why are you going after them and not in?
Malcolm X says they're the enemy that's known, and there's an enemy that hides in the bush. Y'all are the enemy that hides in the bush, brother. Y'all don't show your hand. We know who the YT are, brother. We've been knowing who they are forever. It's y'all that we're finding out now. It's y'all. We got too many recordings of y'all in these rooms talking about, oh man, we can't give this to the blacks. These are Haitians, these are Caribbeans saying this, these are Hispanics saying this. We're like, what the heck are these people? What the heck are they doing behind closed doors? Where people are videotaping y'all now, brother, and we're hearing it. We're like, man, I never thought they would do us like that. I never thought they would side with the oppressor or the colonizer against us. But that's what y'all do when y'all come here. When y'all come here, y'all want to be white. Y'all don't want to be black. Y'all want to be treated like the
Bro,
white people.
that's a
Y'all don't
lie,
want to
bro.
be. No, that's not a lie. That's
That's a
the truth.
lie, man.
That's the truth. That's
Nah,
the
it's a lie.
truth. That's the truth. And you're lying. The very fact that you're able to say that and lie and say that that's why we cannot align with you, brother. You're the ones lying. I'm telling the truth, but you're lying.
Bro, Haitians
You're,
are very proud of their blackness, bro.
brother.
Almost
But
every
here's the
Haitian I
thing.
know is.
Haitians weren't always proud of their blackness. And let me just tell you like this: Haitians are not
What?
black, brother.
Haitians are founded off of their blackness.
No, brother. No, you wasn't. You didn't. You
What are
didn't
you
make.
saying?
You didn't
Bro,
make.
you don't know our history then, bro.
Brother,
We're literally founded off of the
brother,
first black republic.
brother, you were not yelling black until we started yelling black over here.
How does that make sense,
We
bro?
made
We
it cool
literally
to be
was the
black.
first.
We literally made songs about it. I'm black and I'm proud.
You was making fun of us for being black, calling us African booty scratchers and
Brother,
shit
we
like
called
that,
every
bro.
brother. See that's
Like,
you're talking about some. You're talking about some schoolyard kids, and we
okay,
the
but
schoolyard. And hold on, school. You're not talking about adults. You're talking about schoolyard kids. So you have
no, I'm talking
some type
about
of displaced
adults.
trauma. You have some type of displaced trauma. Listen,
Nah, bro,
everybody,
nah.
everybody
I'm
in
literally
the
bringing up the
black.
point.
Hold on,
I'm literally
brother.
bringing up the
Hold
point to
on,
show you.
brother. Stop over talking the host. Everybody in the black community were called African booty scratchers at one time, brother. You're the only one crying about it, though.
Ain't nobody crying about it, bro. I'm
You are
bringing up to
crying.
show you
That's why
that.
you brought it up. No, brother, you can't
No,
bring that
I'm
up.
bringing up to
That's
show
part of
you
my
that we were
culture.
known to be
You can't
blacker,
tell me about my culture, brother. Everybody. And
bro.
if you're an FBA in the chat, were you ever called an African booty scratcher and when you were a kid? Yes or no? Let me
Dear,
see the
dear,
chat.
and being older, you back in the day, before a lot of black Americans got conscious raised and stayed and stuck to it, you better not call nobody black. They be ready to fight you. Okay? That I remember very well. You
Okay,
down for the
hold on.
fight. And that was
Okay.
that was before conscious raising. But
Okay,
all
so
I'm
what I'm
saying is
gonna
that you
do,
live and you learn.
what I'm
Then
gonna
all of a
do
sudden they learn, and honey, James Brown said, when you're black and you're proud, you better not say nothing different.
what I'm gonna do is I got people in the back that want to get up. I'm gonna start dropping some people, and I'm gonna start bringing some people up. Big Ross, it was good talking to you, brother. I hope you get over the hate for Black Americans, man, and I hope you go back to your homeland and help your people and do something big and do something great out there, brother. But being on this live and trying to tell me about my lineage, my heritage, and why we don't unify with y'all, you're proving the reason why we don't unify with y'all because y'all don't think like us. If you don't have this black consciousness, we can't align. We can't join ourselves to that. We cannot. We just can't do it. So let me bring some more people up. Let me look here. Bring some people up, and let's try to chop us. And let me bring up Indigenous Goddess. Bring her up, and let's try to chop up some game. And I don't know what's going on with the live, y'all. I can't see nobody up here. So let me do this real quick. User, are you in here, user? Before you talk Indigenous gods, are you in here, user? User, user. Let me turn on your mic. User, is that you?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna bring you up in a minute, Indigenous gods. Go ahead, user. I can't see nobody, so I gotta go off what I can see in the screen here, but I can't see nobody on the panel. But go ahead, user.
You want to reset it?
I might need to reset it because this is crazy, man. Like I can't see nobody. It's like a glitch. Like a
Yeah, take
glitch.
a minute to reset it.
How do I reset it? Just disconnect and
Just go down. I mean, swipe it up so it goes back up, and then bring it down. It's like a reset, and then come back on, and then bring everybody back up.
So you mean disconnect is actually disconnect or?
Nah, just just the app, like just when you just I don't know what phone you got. You swipe it up, and so it's actually up. Like some people just go up and down, but you have to come out of the app. I mean, you just swipe it up and then go back down, and that should reset it. And then it's
Okay,
real simple. Just swipe it up, and
I'm
then
swiping it up. I'm on an Android and it's not.
you have to come out of your live. Like drop all of us, come out yourself, and
Maybe
then
you got
come
to do
back.
it tomorrow.
Okay,
Otherwise, you're gonna lose all your people.
let me
You
let me
gotta drop everybody.
how do I drop everybody? Let me see this. Disconnect
Just
all.
push
Okay,
the
I'm gonna do
X on their
disconnect.
name and
Okay, I'm
close
gonna
your eye.
disconnect
Close
all
your eye.
guests and y'all just request back up. I'm gonna do
Yeah,
that. See what happens. All right, I disconnected everybody. I don't know. I can't even make myself big anymore. Hold on real quick. Now, babe, babe. Can you hand me this cord right here? This cord right here. I need to charge my phone. My phone's about to die. Sorry about that, y'all. I just had to. I'm trying to reset everybody. I don't know how to reset this thing. All I knew how to do was disconnect. It says disconnect everybody. I can't make myself big anymore. So I don't know what's going on with that. So okay, I got the charger up. Don't know what's going on with that, but let me see here. Try something real quick. Okay, that's not working. Okay, I'm gonna just try to bring people back up. So request back up. Let me try. I'll bring up indigenous goddess, and let's chop up some game.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good. I just heard you talking,
Okay.
and I didn't know if he was one of the Haitians that says he's African or one of the Haitians that say they're indigenous to America. Because I see the elders say they're indigenous to America. They're from the Americas, like our Cree speaking cousins, Creole speaking cousins, but and
Did y'all know
that's what I
y'all?
believe.
First of all, the Creole came from the United States. And
That's
it
what I'm saying.
traveled into Haiti. See, that's people don't even know the history because of Louisiana. It started in Louisiana first,
What I'm saying is the
and the
ones.
Creole is different.
What I'm saying is I don't believe that they're from Africa, like they try to make everybody. They were indigenous here. They were one of the greatest. They're mad because they couldn't conquer them. So I just remember a long time ago when I was younger. That's what I remember. I didn't never care about world history, you know what I'm saying? But I never forget how they made the Haitians look, what they called them, and I just remember saying, "Who are Haitians?" Because that's the first time I saw them. Just these people, refugees, and all, you know what I'm saying? But it stuck in my mind. And 30 years later, I'm seeing the truth and why they do the same thing here. Take away your name, assassination of
So,
character.
here's what we know. We know the biggest slave trade happened in the Caribbean, not in the America. The biggest slave trade we had in the Americas were after they stopped the slave boats from traveling because it was outlawed, or the English outlawed slavery. But we
Hmm.
had a paper genocide that happened here in the United States from 1809 to about 1863, 1864, where we had the biggest slave trade happening with the American Indians. They just said, "Oh, you look black, you must be black." We
Yeah,
need
that's when they
to,
brought them Siberians over,
yeah, and then
and got
everybody
mad
know
because we
about
would sell the
everybody know
land.
about the red natives. Now, I tried to battle the red natives last night, but only one of them wanted to come up and speak for them, and I battled some on other people's lives. And this is the only thing. See, they don't got. See, here's the thing about the red natives, y'all. They don't got no paperwork. They
Don't
don't got
none
no
of that paperwork.
documents. They have only the U.S. government propping them up and saying they are who they are.
Yeah,
That's
they're
why.
political. They're a political group of people
That's
in
it.
the U.S. corporation.
That's it. And that's why they don't like Trump, because the moment they come off those reservations and they don't got their paperwork, they can be deported.
Well, they've been knowing who the indigenous people are. They've been knowing that they brought him here to, Anglicization, cosplay, to cosplay us. We'll give you this land if you just learn these people's culture while they moving us Trail of Tears and to the islands and taking our husbands fighting against them in these wars for years, Civil War, whatever. If they came back, they still had to heal. Then that's when they, what a woman gonna say? She gonna protect her children after this land and gone and build, and then they gonna come over there and they destroy that too. So that's been going on all over the freaking world simultaneously. The same mo. You go, you act nice, you bring the missionary, then you flip on the people and take it. Just like the Slavs, we had the white sea people as indentured servants, right? As soon as they got with this corporation with the natives, they turned on us. Simply like that. You were the
Yeah,
indentured servant. You were the
just,
real indentured servant.
yeah, just like that. I mean, we know that part of history too. Where a lot of us are waking up and finding that out too. A lot of
Yeah.
people are saying, "Hey, man, what happened?"
And
I
the
my
Slavics were
grandma,
the
my
real
grandmama
slaves.
and them, and they said I wasn't a slave. We were never slaves, and
Nope.
that's some people's history. But we cannot deny that if you were an American Indian and you were this copper colored skin, and we know about the Walter Pleckers and the
Oh
dog
yeah.
and the paper genocide, you got enslaved. Let's keep if you didn't go on them Trail of Tears, you were in chains. You were in chains here until 1865.
I don't know about change, but I think we were prisoners prisoners of
We know
war.
it wasn't. We know it wasn't the chain, the real chain that they show like in Roots. But you were in some. You couldn't leave a specific land without permission. We do know that.
Well,
So
this is what I know that people don't realize when they say plantation. Usually, like with my family, it was there. It was just a farm where they lived, and when they did all this trickery crap, so it's like, okay,
well,
you
they
can stay
took
on
that
your
land.
land.
They took that land. See, here's the thing. A lot of people don't understand. Listen, we had already structures built here. There was already built a lot of these buildings. Some of them old
I know
buildings.
exactly. I know the history, but you can
Some of
cut
them
me
old
out,
buildings, the
brother.
ones that are shaped like this, those stone buildings that are still around today
Yeah,
with the
we built all
footprint,
that Tartarian. They turn them into
with the
freaking
15
restaurants and
foot
stuff. But
door with the 15-foot doorways that and they make these little small doorways. But why would you have a 15-foot
mhm,
doorway? You know they were already here. Those are power centers that they know what they are,
free energy
and
buildings,
they don't ever
and
want
they
to get
destroy
rid of
and they
those. They
destroyed
don't.
free energy buildings just so they could
Not
get a
all of them.
freaking bill.
Even the White House is built on a free energy center, so to
We
speak.
know who built that.
You know, so these structures that they try to call Victorian era, we built
Yeah.
those. We
Yep.
built those. We know that. So
Yep.
hold on, real quick. I know you can't see. I don't know. Well, I don't know if you can see, but I know we got.
I can see. I can see you.
Okay, we got Happy Days. Happy Days. Are you here, Happy Days?
Mhm.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Happy Days. Go ahead.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good.
I'm not really sure what the whole conversation is about. I've been listening. I am from Louisiana, and I do believe I am indigenous to this land. I do have oral histories of being indigenous, Indian, but like I believe my family may have been some of the ones that were reclassified.
We cut
We was
paper.
already classified, but it
All of
was
us.
so many different looks and different. We all look different. Some have full faces. Some have the high cheekbones. Like my people, they got, and then those ones that said, "Oh, they're mixed with African." No, honey, we come in every hue, different hair, everything. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's what happened every class. Oh no, she's too dark. She's a Negro, not an Indian.
Yeah, Walter
right.
Pleckett. All the tribes that were in Virginia. Walter Plecker
Hmm.
said, if you even got one drop and you look Negro, you are colored. So usually,
Yep.
I can tell you right now, if you do your genealogy and you go back and find some documentation where your family was classified as colored, there's a high chance that you were an American Indian.
Yeah.
If you got classified as colored, if you have a documentation where it shows colored on it,
Well, I have my grandmother's birth certificate, and it would say like Negro.
so
Girl,
and
you
that's
an
okay.
Indian, honey.
And that's okay. Some of them, we went from Negro to colored to black to African American. That that's the timeline. Some of us were
First is
mulatto
Indian.
and then got classified. That's the timeline. And now we just reclassified ourselves and we said, man, no. We have to separate from all the other black people who then came over here now because now they want to say they're all black too. So now we have to separate and say we are
Right.
foundational black
Right.
Americans. We're no longer just black. We're not saying we're African American anymore. That was given to us by Jesse Jackson, and he wasn't even classifying himself as African American. So that's crazy. He was classifying himself as Cherokee. So that's crazy. But we took on African American and we've adopted that trope, and they gave us they gave us African American studies or African American history and things like that, which was just to confuse us and not get us closer to the truth. But if we know the truth is we're the Aboriginal and the indigenous here because we are the copper colored races, and they know who we are.
Hmm.
Right.
Webster Dictionary already classified us. They already said what a true American was. See, when the Europeans came over here, they wasn't calling themselves Americans until the 1890s.
Right.
These fools, when they came out the caves, yes, let's keep it 100. And we was all over the world, the four corners. It was melanated. So that's what be crazy to me. I'm like, how you come here before us? Like you can't make us. So let's science 101. I don't understand why people don't understand that. How you just come up with this Asian light feature and you're indigenous? You were here first. So who built all this? We know the NAs didn't. We know the white T didn't. We know the Nigerians and the Africans couldn't. They're not builders.
Hold on. If you got feedback, I just brought up some more people. If you're on a Bluetooth, get off the
No,
Bluetooth.
I'm not on the Bluetooth.
So there's no feedback on the mic.
It was a
And
little bit, but it
yeah,
stopped.
yeah, it stopped. It
Yeah, so
stopped.
all I'm saying is now, like you, now people do something. They've changed the whole narrative. Now it's the original melanated, so-called African Americans are original, 𝗤𝗤𝗄𝘁, the only melanated and the original people of the United. Everything has changed. Like, come on, yeah, but
Yeah, I just don't understand why they get. It seems like they get a little offended because we say we're American. It's not that we're saying that we're not black people, but we're not African from that continent. And so I don't understand. Like,
We're not
we're
African
not
in
black.
so
We're not
we're not
African. We're not none of
African
that.
in so we're not African in so many ways. We're not
right?
African as
But
country.
it's
We're
like
not
people
African.
get offended when you say I'm not from Africa. It's like, what's
Yeah,
wrong with
Well,
being
it's
from
not all of the
America?
Africans, sis.
because
You
here's
know,
the thing. Here's the
it's the
thing.
ones that's been operating over here for that's been with the colonizers since the beginning, and the natives. What you see now is what it was. These were the ones colonizing with them, and the whole thing is to assimilate for the land to get to what is ours. They want
So
to assimilate
that's
so they don't know the
exactly.
difference.
Listen,
Right,
we've
right.
talked to too many of them on here, and some of them have admitted it. Some of them are still trying to hide it, and some of them don't even know what's going on. But they're coming over here to replace us. That's what they're coming over here to do. They're coming in to mix in, take on our identity, take on our music, and
Hmm.
become us on this land and take the resources. Because they don't ever want to go back home. They want to come join us over here and stay here, and they want to kick us out. They want us to be African, so we'll go over there, and they
Hmm.
won't come over here.
And they
That's
always
what,
say,
Yeah.
"Have you ever been here? You should come in." You ain't even there. Why I'm coming? Come on,
bro.
y'all are so transparent. And y'all act like we don't study, we don't research. We study more than you. You don't know nothing. You being
Man,
trained.
Right.
listen.
They get
When
trained.
I
That's
went to
why they
Africa,
can't answer a question without a question.
yeah, listen. When I went to Africa, I taught them more. Man, I was telling them more about Africa than they knew about Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't
Wow.
that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I
It's like
was tripped out.
It's just like people living here, and they think that the white tees was here first. No, no, we were the first Europeans. No, we were the first Germans. No,
they
so you
think
know what I'm saying?
they
Oh,
think
that's
the
not your
red
indigenous
natives.
language. It
They
came from
think the
England. This is
red
what these
natives.
fools think over here.
Yeah,
So so they lost.
they think the red natives are indigenous to this land here. They think the red natives who a white chick could play, a Hispanic could play, and an Italian can play in a movie. They think
Uh,
those are indigenous people to the Americas.
I know.
They think blackness originated in just Africa.
That's
When
what
we
I'm
Yeah,
saying.
they just
when we
started
look
saying
all
that.
over the world and we know the original Britons were of darker complexion. The
Yeah,
original we know Australia is full of black fellas.
it
We
was
know
black
that
everywhere, man.
we know
Everywhere. This saying the
we
whole
know
continent.
Samoans. We know Samoans used to be black.
It was all melanated. It don't matter what the it was melanated all over the world. That's what they don't understand. It's just different types. We still different people. Even in the tribes, we still different. We look different. Melungeons look different. Cherokee look different. Choctaw look different. Then you have some that they say their hair is only like African. So we got so many different ranges and everything. But in the end, we know who we are now. But a
Hey,
lot of people still gotta do some work.
can I
Exactly.
ask y'all a question? When I
Yeah.
came up, I consider I had referred to myself as black. Now, what is what can you explain that to me? Like, because I've always known myself as a black person, and
Well,
it doesn't
Who's speaking right now?
necessarily like say where I come from. It's just like
Who's
I
speaking
just
right now?
identify with that.
Who's
Like, what's
speaking
that?
right
What's
now?
the problem with saying that? Or
Happy speaking.
Oh,
Can
that's
I
happy.
can I can I say something to it first?
Okay, okay, go ahead real quick, and then I'll respond to that.
Okay, I'm gonna try to make this simple as possible. In the Americas, we are called black. That was one of the misnomers, but that really, the only reason some people I think still use it because we always turned around to be great because they tried to use it as a negative, and then we turned around to be great. So in America, we are really the only blacks because people know that it came from an energy from a people that that only refers to us. So now you got these Africans coming over here and black is a crayon box. But you still gotta let it go because it's
yeah,
on me. So I identify as either like indigenous or a Maru. I call myself a Maru because
okay,
we are from the Sumerians. Then you go down to the
So
coast.
let me say this, okay? You see this hat? This is FBA. I'm a foundational Black American. Okay.
okay,
Well, I'm
Okay.
not foundational.
I relay myself as a foundational Black American because my family was here before there was a United States. My
hmm,
family built up the United States for free. Okay. Um, if you're indigenous Black, if you have African ancestry, if you've been here before there was a United States, we have two classifications that we use, and it's really just saying what a lineage is. We're saying what our lineage is, where we come from, right? Our lineage is foundational, and it's a way to separate from all the other non foundational Black Americans, all the other people who come over here and want to say they're Black. We have to stand out. We have to let people know, no. There, there's two groups on here. There's two groups. There's the immigrant Black, and then there's the foundational Black. We are the foundational Black. But there's another classification that we use. We use freedmen.
hmm,
Freedmen and foundational Black Americans. Okay? And we use that to identify our lineage, where we come from. Now, are we many tribes? Of course. Of course. We're not all one tribe. But we're moving as one tribe. We're moving as one lineage because we all went through the same struggles.
right,
Ancestors went through the same things. We all grew up in. Our music is the same. It comes from us.
right,
It comes from the indigenous and the foundation. We are the foundation of this country. So that's why we say foundational Black Americans. The ones that went through chattel slavery, those are us too. Because those Africans that did make it over here that was enslaved, guess who they mixed with? They mixed with us.
right,
That's
And
not
they
in
have
my genealogy.
ethnogenesis, and they are no longer Africans when they got here. Once they got here, they lost all connection to their culture because they knew they were never going to be able to go back. Go back to what? When I do my DNA, I don't have any Africans in my family. All my people come from America.
right,
Whatever tribe or whatever African ancestry that I had over there, they're not even they're gone. That
They weren't
tribe
there.
that
That's the
tribe don't
whole.
even exist.
Never did. It was. That's the thing about. That's the whole thing about the knowing exactly the timeline. Because first of all, nobody came from Africa because it wasn't even populated at
No,
the time.
no, I don't.
Not until
Hold on, real quick. Hold on, real quick. I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say, but no, that's not. There was a chattel slavery, just not as many as they said. Now,
no, I didn't say it wasn't a shut. I didn't say it wasn't
according
a
to
chattel
Harvard,
slavery. But this is what I'm
Hold on,
saying.
hold on. According to Harvard, they have the slave documents, and they said 200,000, and that includes the boat captain and the crew. So
No,
there were less than 200,000 Africans came here. Less than. And then we also know they were here because there was three classifications. There was the American Negro, which was the indigenous Black American. There was the African Negro. See, why would they call
they
somebody
didn't come until
African
like
Negro?
the late 70s, 80s, 90s. They didn't come until that time because
Well,
No, because
I'm not talking about the 1600s, man. I'm just talking about just in general. There was three classifications. There was the American Negro, which was the American Indian. There was the African Negro, and then there was the American Creole. Those were the three classifications, and we know that because we have the ledger book where they wrote down everybody's job. And they said the American Negro was worth this much. The African Negro was worth this much. The American Creole was worth this much. And then they said what job title and occupation they did. That's how we know. So I'm not going to sit here and act like there wasn't no transatlantic slave trade and that some of us don't have African ancestry because that would be a lie. I'm not going to sit here and say that no American Indian was enslaved because that would also
we were
be a
prisoners of
lie.
war. We were prisoners of war, and what I was
Prisoner
just
of war
doesn't
is
matter. You were
slave.
here.
this is
Prisoner
what I
of
was trying to
war.
say. This
I
is what I
get you, ma'am. I get
no.
you,
Let
ma'am.
me
But still,
finish.
prisoner of war.
You
I
don't
know.
even know
I'm
what
gonna
I was
let
going
you
to say.
finish.
What I was going to
I'm
say
gonna
is
let you finish,
there are
ma'am.
two.
But you
There,
gotta let me finish, ma'am. You gotta let me finish.
but you didn't even get the understanding because you didn't let me finish. You just go ahead. It's
I'm
your
gonna give
panel.
you the floor,
But you
ma'am.
didn't
I'm
even
gonna
get hear
give
my
you.
whole. You
I
didn't even hear
am
you
gonna
sound.
hear you, ma'am. But I've been talking. I'm just saying I've been talking. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm just jumping in. I'm the host. Okay. So prisoner of war is still a slave. You're a prisoner. If you're in prison, if you're in jail, you are in slavery.
Nah.
So go ahead.
What I was going to say is with that timeline. The 1800s. See, the thing is, the Carthage 𝗥𝗶𝗴𝗵𝘁𝘀 was in the Americas. It was not this new African continent. It's the youngest, literally by age, and just the youngest continent. Period. And they think that when they talk about the empires and all this royal and all these peoples and stuff like that, and watermelon being indigenous to Africa, they was talking about right here. So it was like 2.8% of us that were taken, like 86 New Yorkers, the some of the women that were royalty, and then who else? Oh, the West Africans. They call them West Africans, but they were our people taken to West Africa. So all together it was about 2.8% of us, and that wasn't until the 1800s when they started the American Colonization Society under Andrew Jackson, and that's when this diabolical plan took effect. So
Did you
when we
say
talk
that it
about this,
started with Andrew Jackson?
yeah, Andrew Jackson, he
Mm-hmm.
started the American Colonization Society, and all the people that they want us to celebrate during this Black History Month are really the Hobbs. Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, she was the conductor, but she was taken from Americas to the islands and pushed from further. So she was part of that whole Indian Removal Act. And then you have to work with the Quakers, and they always send in missionaries. So all this was going on from the 1800s to the 1900s when they put the stamp on it with the birth certificate. This was kind of going towards the end. But when they were in Chicago, and that's where I'm from, this is like 1890s maybe, something like that. So they destroyed like so many from Lakeshore Drive to where I live, and it was beautiful. But they destroyed it and said a cow kicked over a lantern in the middle of Lakeshore Drive.
You're talking about the fire in
The
Chicago?
Chicago, yeah, the Great Fire,
Yes,
of Chicago.
yes. If you
But
guys Google what Chicago looked like before 1890, you would
man,
think you're in ancient Greece or something like
man,
that.
it was beautiful. That's what I'm saying. They burnt it down
They
to
burnt
put
it
up
down. Yeah,
monopoly houses.
that's
You know what I'm saying?
that's a
And
fact.
this is
That's a
what
fact.
was going on. I found out they call it the Black Massacre. I hope I can say that. But anyway, all over. The map shows it was simultaneously. So while they had some over here, they had some from Africa, they had some of the natives, because at this time they brought them over. So now it's like, okay, you gotta roll with me, then we'll put you on your land. The Africans, you gotta roll with me, then we'll make you independent. Whatever this treaty was, they were doing exactly what they're doing now. That's why they gang up and we talk. Why are you trying to steal their culture? Why are you trying to these Africans come in? We weren't even talking to you. This wasn't your business. That's how we got into it with them. But the point is, yeah, they had this. They put a lot of energy into us.
Yeah, she's correct
Yeah.
about Chicago. She's definitely correct. She's definitely correct about Chicago. But again, we just got to be truthful. Whether you want to call POW or whatever, slave. You were part. The biggest slave trade happened between 1809 and 1863.
Nah,
And
I
it happened
respectfully
in
disagree
it
because the
happened
first
in
slaves were the
ma'am,
Slavics. Hence the
ma'am,
word. They the only ones that came over.
ma'am.
But we're not
I know
interested in
all
that.
about.
I'm
I
gonna
know
tell
They
all
you
were
who
about.
was the
slaves here in
slaves.
1619.
Ma'am,
They
I'm the
brought them
host.
over.
Stop over talking the host. I let everybody speak. Just don't over talk me. Okay, the biggest slave trade happened between 1809 and 1863 during the paper genocide, all that stuff, the Dobbs roll, all that stuff. When you call yourself a POW, you were still a slave. You were still restricted to a land and you couldn't leave. And
Um,
and if you left where you ever supposed to go, they had slave catchers and they caught your butt and they
you
put
on
you
your
back,
land,
brought
so
you
I
back
mean,
where you're supposed to
you
be.
still residing in your land, but you working just like a bad
But you're
economy.
share, but again, like you, whether you call it sharecropping or slaving, it is what it is. You couldn't leave. You couldn't leave,
I don't agree with that because my mother
Can I
told
say
me she
something?
used to go over and help them
man.
and pick
Okay,
the cotton. This
you
is my
got as
great
long as you
grandmother and
got
my
your
mother.
paperwork, as
So
long
she
as you
was
got
leaving
your
and coming.
paperwork, ma'am. As long as you got your paperwork, you were free to travel, and they would check your paperwork. And if they didn't believe that your paperwork was real, guess what they did? They gave you a good little whooping, and they
Never
sent
heard
you
that
on
story
back.
from my ancestors. So
And
maybe
they
it was
sent
just
you on back.
different places because they stayed
Well,
on their land.
again,
They cultivated their land as usual, but they
they
just
stayed
got
on
ripped
it
off with the
exactly. They
percentage.
couldn't leave, and
That's what they
there was a civil war too, ma'am.
Yeah, that's when they were
There was a
fighting our
civil
men.
war too, ma'am.
Yeah, and there was also
There
indentured
was
servants
a
that was
civil war.
working
Of
with
course,
us, and
we
then when they
know,
started this diabolical
we
Native
know.
American thing,
But the indentured
that's when they
servants,
flipped.
the difference between the indentured servants and you, were they got paid. They got
They were
money.
working for us. We were the
They
listen. They were
got
you.
paid. And
No, no,
they
no, no,
got
no, no,
money.
no. No, the first slaves were the Slavics. Then you had the indentured servants. These were the ones that was begging to work in the Americas because they fled. Yes, this is what
Let me
happened.
tell you, let me tell
So
you,
you
let
had
me
the
tell you
indentured
what was going
servants.
on, ma'am. Let me tell you what was going on, ma'am. They were working so they can learn how to replace you for the job. You
I'm
were
talking about
teaching
the
them.
indentured servants. I'm talking about the
I'm talking
Native
about them too.
Americans.
You were
I'm talking.
teaching them how to be
Yeah, that's what we've been doing
yes.
since the day before
Because
forever.
guess
The
what?
Mayans
Guess what happened? The
trained
YT
them.
people didn't want y'all working for them. So they said, hey, we got all these people here that need jobs, but guess who got all the skills? The black ones, the darker ones had the skills. So they brought in y'all, whatever they're gonna tell y'all to get y'all, it's like the job site now. When you go to job today, you know what they make you do? They make you train your replacement, and then you don't get that promotion. They promote the guy that you train. That's exactly what they did to you. Whether you call it indentured servitude, whether you say they was working for us, they were running the hustle on you.
Yeah, but we were still prisoners of
Doesn't
our
matter,
own
man.
wars.
Come on.
It
What
was
kind
the
of privilege do you have
consequences
when
of
you're
the
a
wars that were
POW, man? Stop
fought
trying to
against
act like
us.
it was.
Hence,
Stop trying to act
prisoner of
like you was.
war.
Stop trying to act like you was kicking your feet up and you was a prisoner on your land. Stop trying to act. That's one thing I don't like, man. You can be.
Listen,
Listen, if you're either.
you getting too
Listen,
deep. You getting too
no,
deep.
I'm getting real.
We had wars fought
I'm
against us.
I'm
We
getting
had
real.
wars
I'm
fought
getting
against us,
real. I'm
and then
getting
the
real. You got
consequence
to be
of the wars
honest.
fought against us made
Right.
us prisoners of this
Exactly.
war.
Okay.
You
And
making
guess
it
and
just
guess
too
what
deep.
a
We were
prisoner
prisoners
is.
of a war.
And guess what a
Me.
prisoner is? A prisoner is a slave, man. You
Listen.
can't go nowhere. You can't
We
do
were
nothing
prisoners
without
of war because
permission.
slave never been a slave. It's in your mind.
Do
I ain't never calling
see
myself a slave. We were prisoners of the consequence of these wars. You
that's
can
the
be a
issue.
slave, but
Whatever
my
you
people
want to
weren't
call
slaves.
whatever
My
makes you
people weren't
sleep well at
slaves.
night, man. And you can say the Slavs were working for you, but you were really teaching them how to do your job so they can
No,
replace you.
you mean the
That's
Native
what
Americans
was going
that they had
on.
our people trained. Yes, that
And
happened.
then y'all were training the Indians to be y'all. That's what y'all were
Yeah,
doing.
and that's just
Y'all
like
were
now.
training
Every
the
only thing
Indians
they
to
can
be.
do is be
Y'all were
trained.
teaching them how to speak y'all language, how to do the woo, woo, how to word it, how to dress like y'all. Y'all were teaching them how to be y'all.
Trickery. It's called
It
trickery. And we
doesn't
have
matter.
empaths, so wicked don't
Doesn't
recognize wicked
matter.
unless it's wicked.
Here's the thing. That same trickery they used back then,
They
they're
doing it
still
right now.
using. They still use today. So
It
you
ain't
fell
stop.
for it. You fell for it,
No,
man. We
they
all
did
fell
fall
for
for
it.
it because I would look around and say,
We
why the hell
all
y'all
fell
act
for
like
it, man.
y'all don't see nothing
So
wrong with voting for
you want to act
Kamala?
like you was kicking your feet and you had slaves? Go ahead and believe that trickery that you just admitted that you did.
Listen. I
But
speak to
you
my ancestors. I know my genealogy, and we talk. We have family
okay?
reunions,
But
so
don't be
you
in
can tell me
denial.
what I don't know about my
Were your
family
people
history.
from the
It
East
was too
Coast?
many of it was too many
Don't be
melanated
in
people to tell
denial.
the exact same
Indigenous.
story.
Were your people from the
I
East
got you,
Coast?
but don't be in
My
denial,
my my
man.
don't
We
tell
all
listen,
what
don't do that.
happened
Don't do that.
to us
You acting just
happened
like them
to us.
freaking Africans trying to tell
No,
somebody about
no. Listen,
what they
no, man,
about.
man,
That's
man,
that's
man. Listen,
disrespectful. Don't
Indigenous.
tell
Are
me
your
what I
people
don't
from the
know.
East Coast?
You could have had your
man.
own.
Listen, man. This is
My
what.
people are from
Listen,
my
we're
people from
gonna
the
be honest
Mississippians,
here. We're gonna be
Choctaw, and then
honest
my
here.
mother's side
I
is
got
I
you.
said, were they
Cherokee.
from the East Coast?
I
Not at
got
what
you.
group they were in.
But
Were
we're
they from
gonna
the
be
East Coast?
honest here. Hold
Nah.
on. Hold on. Yeah, I'm just tired. You can't you can't over talk the host. If you could you could start your own live and say whatever you want to say over there. But we're gonna get some straightening here. It is what it is. We're gonna call it what it is. And see that's we you can never be free by not being honest. As long as we tell the truth, that's how we're gonna get our freedom. The truth is gonna set us free. The truth is, if you were an American Indian, some of you were enslaved. Some of y'all weren't. Now, if you're saying you're the ones that weren't, oh well, go right ahead. But if you're saying you was a POW, everybody knows what that is, man. Everybody knows what a POW is, man. Am I wrong, people? Am I wrong?
Yeah, I
That's the
know what
reason
that
I was
is.
trying to ask her the little bit that I know. Was she from the, when she kept saying her people
Now
were
she was
not
right
from,
on point with Chicago. She was right on point with Chicago. I give her man.
that's the
I
only part
respect what
I
he did.
agreed with.
Yeah, that's the
But
only
when
part
she
I agree with Chicago because if you Google it's documented. It's there. We know what Chicago used to look like. Man, they had bicycles. They was doing some amazing stuff over there in Chicago.
Oh yeah. What I was gonna say was that when I was saying, was she trying to say that her people were never slaves?
That's what she's trying to say. She's trying to say
Okay.
she was kicking her feet up and
Okay.
she
I
had
don't
to.
one of the
She
things
was a
that I
P,
found
which one is it?
interesting.
You were a POW or you was kicking your feet up and you had slaves? Which one was it, ma'am? Let's just be honest what it is. Let's
Well,
just
what
tell
I
the
was
truth.
gonna ask her, and of course she didn't get a chance to answer, was that I asked her were her people from the East Coast. You know the comedian Wanda Sykes,
Yeah, I know what
right?
you're saying.
Okay. One of the things that tickled a lot of people, they found out when they did her genealogy, that her people were never slaves, which is not unusual, but they were based on the East Coast. And those were people who came in, like you said before, the United States was the United States, and they basically lived in that area, like Boston, what's that, Massachusetts.
Listen, I never said all of them, but if you call yourself an American Indian and you don't recognize your people that were enslaved, that's
Mhm.
disingenuous too. That's
Well, I
disingenuous
agree with
too.
that because, after all, they were busy training these Indians, and they did a good job because the five civilized tribes fought in the Confederate, and the biggest general was an Indian. Yes, sir. When I found that out 10 years ago, I went, you
Those
mean the
Indian
Indians had
enslaved
slaves? She
those
said, yes, sir. The
they
five
did.
civilized, it's all over the books. The five
Yeah.
civilized tribes had black slaves. And when they did the Trail of Tears, me and another Indian girl get into it. I said, wait a minute, baby. They took their slaves with them.
Yeah.
They sure did. Yes,
Yeah.
they did. And
Yeah.
so right
And some
now,
of these
I am in
slaves
contact with somebody in Oklahoma.
but
Uh,
hold on, what they forget to tell you, some of these slaves were their family members.
yes, just like some of
They
the
had
Welsh
them
who weren't
Turkish
Indians
based family
who were
members.
slave holders
There were
had their family
listen,
members. You couldn't get them any other way.
what they call slaves were often their family members.
Oh yeah,
They had one listed as the owner of the plantation,
right.
and the rest of the people on there were his family, but they couldn't say family, so they called them.
Oh no, you couldn't do that. Matter of fact, that's the same thing who were non-Indians in Louisiana and all the places where they freed back to North Carolina, Savannah. If you want that slave, your relative, you're gonna have to buy them.
Man,
That was as simple as that.
That's what it was. And let's be real. There were some of us who had money. We
Yeah.
weren't broke.
Not those ones on the
You
East Coast.
gotta imagine if you can build a house, if you can run a farm, if you can deal with cattle, if you can deal with buffalo. I mean, if you could be a cooper, could be a blacksmith, you were valuable. You
Absolutely.
paid unless you were
Right.
a slave.
I mean, let's not kid ourselves. The Arlington Heights, what it's called in Washington D.C. Arlington Cemetery. That was owned by the Mercers,
Yeah,
and it was a big brouhaha when he died because one of his sons was passing for white, and when his father died, those millions he came back, they wouldn't give it to him.
man. So my thing is, listen. Let's not lie. Let's not start believing let's not be delusional. Let's just stand on business, stand on truth. That's where we're gonna excel. That's where we're gonna succeed. That's where we're gonna do the most damage. Not when we sit back and act like we was kicking our feet up and we had slaves and all kinds of glory and the indentured servants was working for us when we know that they were working for us so they can learn what we do,
Oh yeah.
so they can
As a
take our
matter of
jobs.
fact,
The
I
same
found
thing
you
they do
tonight, and
today, and you want to call it trickery, but you don't want to call it what it is.
I found you tonight, and I stuck with you for the last 3 or 4 hours. It's very interesting. I learned a lot,
Yeah.
and I think I pushed the button to make sure I get you again.
Appreciate it.
Uh,
Yeah, I followed.
subscribe.
I
Yeah.
really appreciate your live because I went to so many and I never wanted to join any of them. It's the first one I've ever joined. And I just to bring up my history and what the other lady was talking about. Okay, so I grew up in Louisiana. On one side of my family, my grandmother, she spoke Creole, but on her birth certificate she was known as Negro.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather was I believe pygmy, I believe. He had descended from pygmies. I don't know if that's indigenous to America or not.
Pygmies?
Yeah.
That's Africans.
Pygmies African.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So my grandfather had some of that in him. And on my father's side, they were sharecroppers. And they actually had to escape Wimple Plantation because they had saved money. They were like selling junk and stuff like that. And they saved up enough money to buy their own land. So they kind of like ran away and bought this land. And they didn't just like officially say, oh, we quit. They just like basically in the middle of the night took everything and left and went to their land that they bought.
So think about it. These people were sharecropping, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they had to run away.
They did. Because they would have got mad at them.
Why did they have to run away if they?
Because they would have killed them.
Yeah, they try to sabotage you if you try to get away. You know, kind of like they're trying to do right
Call it
now.
what you want to call it. They gave you some quarters that you can stay in. They said this is where you sleep, and they allowed you to get married, and they allowed you to do all this stuff, but you had to show up for work the next morning, didn't you? On time, and if you didn't show up on time, they disciplined you.
Right. And they
Yeah.
did have a
But we call it share. It's cool. We call it sharecropping. It's sharecropping. It is what it is. But we also know what it is too. It's you were a slave.
Right. But why didn't my grandmother would not teach us Creole? I don't understand that. Do you
Isn't
know
it Creole
anything about-
French?
Yeah. She wouldn't teach her children.
But you don't know, Brian? That's no different from the trauma that she was witnesses is no different from even Europeans. A lot of Italians don't speak Italian. A lot of Polish don't speak Polish. That first generation didn't want them to speak that. They wanted them to become Americans. So if all you spoke was Creole, then you'd be looked upon as different.
Right.
That's all. You know,
Okay.
you still got some who still speak French. But one of the things that I found out, he touched on that, was during the revolution, a lot of those so-called Creoles from Haiti, honey, they hightailed a lot of them went straight to Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. I'm talking about the ones I guess that were children of the French. They hightailed it straight to Louisiana.
Yeah,
They
because
sure
my
did.
grandmother.
Yeah, they were mulattoes. They were mulattoes first. They
Well,
were
I didn't want to
Yeah,
use
she
that term,
was.
but that's what they were.
That's
Yeah.
what they. If you were indigenous and you mixed in with the white, they call you mulatto.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And
And a
let me tell
lot of them
you,
escaped to
all this
Louisiana during
breed.
the uprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a powerful uprising down there. There was a very powerful uprising down there, and
There
there,
were several uprisings through the
yeah,
United States.
exactly. That's the whole
Several.
point. We were all trying to get ourselves free.
That's what we were trying to do. That's for sure. Everything you name. I just found out about a lady in Montana. Was rich. Black woman. So it's almost they want to hide all this
Go
history.
back to Madam C.J. You know they got a movie about Madam C.J. Walker on Netflix. Y'all should go check that out.
Well, I know who that is because I'm from Chicago, and the woman who Marjorie, the number one woman, was right here with the Daily Defender, and I saw her many times in the Bud Billiton Parade as a child. She died, 20, 30 years ago? Yeah, Madam C.J. Walker's right-hand girl was right here in
C.J. Walker
Chicago.
became wealthy on hair care products. Okay,
Wasn't that wonderful?
the first black woman millionaire.
Oh, look, let me tell you something else in case you don't know it.
Made a
In
sulfur
Chicago,
eight.
until
Right.
very recent, was some of the biggest black millionaires, right? I mean, I give you a year, they was all still living. 1984, when Michael Jordan was here, when the Bears won, when, what's that other team? They won. All the hair care people, Dudley, what's the big one that everybody knew about? The Johnson & Johnson. The other one. It's 3 or 4, 4 or 5 of them here. Then of course, we had Johnson Products and Johnson Ebony and Jet. We had a huge black population here. A lot. Travis Real Estate.
Now,
Chicago was popular.
now
You know
what
what?
happened? Now what happened?
I'm just getting ready to say it. We lost a lot in the last 20 years, and it hurts. I
How
feel
in
it.
the
I see it.
world did we give the hair care industry over to the Koreans and the Asians? How did
Now
we-
that's a little strange to me. You know why? I don't know if they bought. I still see the products. I don't know if they bought them or they're selling to them. I'm not sure about that one. Cause see, I live right down the street from that big, huge, beautiful factory that George Johnson built for the hair care. That was big. You couldn't go to a black person's house from Washington D.C., Massachusetts to California and not see some Johnson products in their bathroom.
Remember that?
I mean,
pink
that was
lotion?
big.
Remember that pink
That was
lotion?
big.
What happened to that pink lotion?
Yeah. Yeah, but that was about that.
Pink oil moisturizer.
Remember that pink
forgot
oil
about that.
moisturizer?
When the people think Atlanta was the shit, no baby, it was Chicago. Chicago had millionaires galore, and all of a sudden, I don't know. I said, did Michael Jordan leave? And all of a sudden, they decided to leave too. But it's really heartbreaking. And right now, believe me, I'm not nobody. But guess what? I'm a certain age. I just got 3 or 4. She said, Miss McDowell, you think we can do it? I said, baby, I owned them 2 boutiques from 1974 to 94, and then went back in the workforce. I said, you see that piece over there by the dead rat? Let's go get that. She said, I'm with you, so if I get it, I'm going to let you know. Because, too many of us love Chicago. And that's a piece. Stop letting these East Indians and these other people buying up our property in our community. Right now, these carpet baggers are all over Chicago. When I say I'm a South Side girl, that's exactly what I am. I'm a South Side girl from Chicago. And I miss it. It's still little pockets of it still left. Like when I went back to New York after the inaugural ball, I stopped in New York, and it seemed to me there was a lot of white folks in Harlem. Last time I was in New York, I said, what the hell? So I don't know. I hope that I can do what I say I can do. So when I leave here, there'll be somebody remember that Miss McDowell said that building got to go up, and I'm gonna try my best to do it as hard as I can. You ain't got to have a lot of money, but you got to have a lot of guts. So we'll see what happens.
Right. Well, listen, man, I'm gonna go ahead and close down the live. I thank you everybody for coming to the live. You guys are welcome to the platform anytime. I don't know what's going on with this screen here. I can't see nobody.
Yeah.
All I can see is myself up here, but I hear y'all,
Okay.
but I can't see y'all.
Well, it was so nice meeting you. And exactly your name is what?
Too much. Too much.
Too much. That's your name handle. Okay.
Too much.
Good night, dear.
Yeah, you have a good night as well. Thank you.
And thank you for inviting me up to speak as well.
No problem. You have a good night, and you guys are welcome to come back anytime. I do these live. I try to have high, logic. Try to have high,
What
intellect.
time did you start though? What time did you
I
start?
usually start around 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 8 p.m. Pacific.
Is that Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday? Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna try to find you again.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
be back. I will be
All
back.
right, then. Bye bye.
All right, you guys
All
take
right,
care.
bye, y'all. Have a good night.
Have a good night.